Welcome back to Late Night at the Movies, episode 47, The Beach Bum. Ow!
Looking for the moon dog. Is he fishing in the moon fog? Or renegades like a wild hog? Never one for acting in the car. We've seen this act before, heard this monologue. He's a wanted man with his head stuck in the sand, down and disavowed, being way too.
Ow! Guys, welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Late Night. Oh, who's this joining us today?
The scaredy cat, I think that's what we're going to call him. So can we change?
Scaredy cat.
Can
Oh
we
my,
change
can we,
that?
okay, that's it. I have to address this narrative, bro. You guys did not even pick any scary movies for that fucking month, bro. What the hell? This is pissing me off. Like Beetlejuice. You guys think I was too pussy to watch Beetlejuice?
Well, I don't know. You just weren't present. You weren't
Oh
here for
my
those
God,
episodes. How are
bro.
we supposed to know? I don't know. What's
All
going
right,
on
all right.
over there.
We missed the fuck out of you, bro.
I guess I gotta pick the scariest
I
thing
mean,
ever.
and it
for my
wasn't
pick,
even the
just
scariest slasher film either, bro.
None of those
Like,
movies were scary. Spooky season, like
Spooky
what?
season, man. That's what October is. Come on,
Bro,
now.
come on, bro.
Come on.
You want, okay.
Terrifier 3.
You had
Smile 2.
Beetlejuice, Halloween, and The Crow.
No,
Those-
we also talked about Smile 2 and the Terrifier 3. We talked about.
Oh,
some
you
more-
did?
We did an episode of some more recent
Okay.
movies. Come on
okay,
now.
Okay, sorry.
Come on,
sorry.
come
Keep,
on.
it,
But-
keep up with it, man.
Anyways, Max has returned, as you could all see. Yes, the narrative was that he was too scared to join us. For
Bullshit.
spooky
Fake news. Fake news.
But yes, Max is back. Unfortunately,
Unfortunately.
Max returns. No, it was a segue into unfortunately Max is here, but
yeah,
Julie
unfortunately.
is not.
Okay,
That's
okay.
what I was trying to
Nice,
say.
nice save. Nice save.
No, Max is back.
Yes,
We're happy to have him
unfortunately, I'm back. Thanks, Nico.
yeah.
No, we're happy to have him back, and stay tuned at
Nice.
the end of this episode. He will be announcing our next pick. Actually, it's
Which
his
I
pick
still
up
haven't
next.
decided, but I'll
And,
figure it out.
on the fly. Well, that's exciting. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But yeah, welcome back, everybody. As JT said there, it's episode 47, and you're on the Late Night Chat Network, your first stop for pop culture talk. I almost screwed it up there, Jay. Oh, there you go. Anyways, this is our movie review show, and we kind of go around. Each host here picks a pick, and this week is JT's pick. He, of course, picked The Beach Bum.
Nice
Which we'll get into here in a moment. But yeah, make sure you like and subscribe.
Yes,
And
yes.
as I mentioned, usually this is a bi-weekly show. So in a couple weeks, look forward to Max's pick. As I mentioned, he's going to mention that at the end of the show. But we do some impromptu episodes as well. In between, sometimes we talk about new release movies. I think we also have plans to talk about the movie. What's that one that you watched like 5 times already?
5 times,
Yeah.
oh my God, this guy with the fake news. Megalopolis,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That fucking movie's
a
good.
very
Are you gonna be there?
I would
Yeah,
love
he
to
has
be.
to be there.
That's
He has
on
to
our
back
next
me up.
recording.
Okay,
day. Yeah,
there we go.
It's a very misunderstood film. I feel like
Misunderstood
this year. That's
masterpiece.
right,
You know what?
that's right.
Kind of like this misunderstood masterpiece,
Is
right?
it
Yeah.
misunderstood though?
You know,
What?
well,
The Beach Bum?
of what? Yeah, or the Megapolis. No, the Beach Bum is not. Is very.
Take it away though, sir. This
It-
is your pick.
It
Go
is a
ahead.
very
Yeah,
messed
why'd
up
you
movie
pick this movie?
because, first of all,
Oh,
I only
and shout
got-
out to Max for the Pabst Blue Ribbon, the PBR.
The official drink of Mundo.
And we are talking about the Beach Bum, so we had to drink some PBR. Yes, cheers. Thank
Cheers,
you for
buddy.
that. Yeah. All
Cheers,
right,
buddy.
man. Cheers. Good stuff.
so you know me, I just stick to my Canadian Tim Hortons because that's how I roll. But we'll give them 2 thumbs up. Hey guys, so welcome back, and I'm enjoying doing this revisit maybe of the Beach Bum. I've only watched it maybe like 10 times now in total since
10
Max.
times. Holy.
Wait. Since
Oh, yeah.
Max brought it up to my attention. See, he does actually have very good
The last two
Picks.
picks you've credited to Max to giving you, even
Yeah,
though he,
holy good
even though
point.
he didn't want to take credit for the last.
Good observation. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, he didn't. Yeah, that's the thing. This one I know for sure he did. And if he fucking criticized me on the like this one, like he
For
did
sure.
the other
Oh,
one.
just wait.
Oh, I am waiting. I got the Moondog on, bro. Don't worry. I feel it. I feel everything. Bro.
I'm gonna
I
expose
take all
you
that
so hard,
energy.
bro.
I take all that energy, and we'll figure it all out. Don't worry, Max. We'll figure it out on the station.
Okay.
All right. So, like I said, we're back here, and we're gonna be doing the review of Beach Bum, and I don't really have a crazy history with it. I learned about it a few years back now, and honestly, it's been a great fucking watch every time I've watched it, and it's got more and more. I don't know. I find it more and more inspirational.
Mm-hmm.
Whether people like to believe that or not. And you knew I was gonna pick some sort of corny love movie, and this is instead of The Notebook because I know nobody wanted to pick it. I kind of got you.
I would be so down for that, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
I know you would, but we have some other people in the room that might not like it. Like, the one that wants to be a shirtless Matthew McConaughey, but we can discuss that off stage, bro, about that because that's kind of interesting.
what's
How
that?
you choose to be
The Notebook.
the guy I am with the shirt off.
No, there's a reason why I picked shirtless McConaughey because that's a period of McConaughey's career that exists.
I know.
And
The golden age.
I'll get
I know,
I'll get into it when I talk about my
I know,
my
yeah,
overall
yeah.
view.
Whatever lifts your skirt, bro.
Hey, man,
Here's a direct pull from the
I know
movie.
McConaughey is your boy. I'm sorry, I had to take it from you, but you're Mr.
Hey.
Moondog himself over there today.
Oh
so,
man.
Dog.
But yeah, so it has been only a brief history for me, so I've really liked it and I've enjoyed it, and I strongly recommend it to people whether you like it or not. I mean, it's a low budget film. I can understand it's a little bit of a mess of somewhat of a romantic love story in a way,
For
but
sure.
honestly, there's some great acting scenes in this one. There's some great dialogue going on, like
Mhm.
scenes where people don't even have to talk, and it's just something that I think people should watch and pay attention to it. If it doesn't float your boat, just keep watching it, because if you watch it through, you'll understand. Like, it's not something that somebody's going to gravitate to when they see the cast. Maybe.
yeah.
They might turn it on and might not like it for the first 20 minutes. But
You want me to hit them with some stats? You got the stats here on this film?
well, I know the
or-
film the budget was only $5 million, a $5 million budget. I checked that
$5
kind of.
million?
Oh, I didn't know that.
5 million. It didn't gross very much, but I think opening day it had that weekend in the US and Canada, the gross was only 3 million and 3,500,000. So they didn't make much, bro.
No.
I don't even think they didn't even make, unless they count the gross worldwide differently. I don't know. It says 4.5. So they didn't even get their budget back. So I don't know if they were just doing this for shits and giggles, because there is some
Well,
decent
it
big
is
actors.
it is directed and written by Harmony Korine, who is an interesting filmmaker to say the least.
Yes.
We can get into him later, but this and it came out in 2019,
Mhm.
and as you mentioned, it is starring McConaughey, it is starring Isla Fisher, Snoop Dogg, and Martin Lawrence, Zac Efron, Jonah Hill make appearances. Jimmy
Bro,
Buffett,
They all
So,
do.
yeah.
They all do, and it's just, I think, to be honest with you, if I was the guy doing this film, I would do it for the fun of the fun or the laugh.
It seemed like a very fun film to
No,
it's
a great
And if
film.
they were partaking in
It's
everything
a great
that they showed in most.
Oh, there's stories about
90% of that. Yeah.
There's an interview where McConaughey talked about Snoop Dogg actually getting
Yeah,
him high while
fucking him
while
up.
doing
Yeah,
the
real
scenes.
weed.
Yeah.
So
So
at the end of the day, yeah, I see what
good. I'm good for now.
what could draw people to it and what can push people away from it, right? I mean, it's just like anything else, right? You either gotta love it or hate it. I think in this film, to be honest with you, and like I said, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but this one I really enjoyed, and I don't know anybody over here what their history is with this film. Can't be that big.
you
Yes.
want to go
Do
ahead?
you want to?
Max?
Okay,
Yeah.
sure, I'll go. So I actually heard about this movie around the time of its release because it got recommended in my YouTube feed. An interview that McConaughey and Snoop Dogg did with Jimmy Kimmel, where they
Mhm.
talked
That's
about
right.
that story.
That's
That
right.
Yeah.
so
I've
that's
seen
actually
that.
how I saw that interview when it came out. And so I was like, oh, okay, look, they're promoting a new movie, and Harmony Korine directed it. And my only history with Harmony Korine up at that point was I had seen only one time, and I've to this day I've only seen it once, Spring Breakers, which I'll be honest with you, I didn't like it at the time that I saw it, but I think I might
I
have just
love Spring Breakers.
I think I might have just been too young, or maybe I just didn't get it. I didn't know what they were going for. I think if I rewatched it today, I might like it more. I might maybe appreciate it a bit
this
more.
is his follow-up to that.
Is it?
This
This is the next movie he
yes,
made. Yeah. So that's like a
yes.
7-year, 6-year gap or something, right?
No, because I think Spring Breakers was 2006.
no,
Is
Yeah,
it
it's
early?
earlier. No,
It's
I think
earlier?
it's no,
Spring Breakers
it was
is
before this.
2012 or 2013.
no, this is later than this. Sorry,
and this
yeah.
is Beach Bum is 2019. So I
Maybe I'm wrong. I'm gonna take a look.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
'Cause I think I just seen it right
fact
now.
check that, but I'm pretty sure that's like when but I didn't when I saw that interview.
Because this is 20.
yeah, no, he did some like music videos
I
and
see.
shorts and stuff in between. But in terms of film, yeah, this was his follow-up. You're right, 2012.
Right.
Wow,
Yeah.
I thought it
So
came
older
out
than
way
this, yeah.
later. I
I
thought it
saw-
came out way later than that.
I saw Spring Breakers around like 2013.
That was one of the earlier movies that I think me and Christine went to see, probably a couple of years into us dating then, because I
Oh, wow.
remember really loving that movie. when
Yeah,
I
yeah,
saw it in
yeah, yeah,
theater. Like that's a
that's like that's at the top of my list of movies to like rewatch, and I think like the good chance that I'd probably like it maybe a bit more. And James Franco was hilarious in that.
There's certain
But,
movies like that you have to go back.
You
when you're a
have
little
to,
older.
and
You
I
do.
think I might have just been too young. I was like 18 years old when I saw this. I thought it was kind of boring actually, that movie, but I mean James Franco like going like, look at my shit, and he's like, I got Scarface on repeat.
he also wrote the movie Kids.
Yeah, I never
Yeah.
saw Kids.
You've
I
never
know
seen
Never
Kids?
I
seen
know-
Kids,
I
but I think
know-
I
I
was a
never
kid when
seen-
I seen that movie.
I
Fuck.
never saw Kids, but my friend who was a bit older than me, a couple years older than me, he had told me about the movie. And
It's a
but,
weird
but
movie.
he's describing the movie, and he's talking about how like it's about teenagers getting AIDS and stuff, and that just made me like, that's not gonna make me run to go see it. Like,
But
to
there's no
say the
real
least.
family involved.
It
There's
was,
no-
it
it's-
was it was kind of almost like a PSA type of movie.
Yeah,
like, in terms
yeah.
of, like
I think it's very generational, like of that time.
Yeah.
If you were around,
what's the PSA stand for again? I'm not
public
sure.
service announcement, like
service
one of those like commercials that
Yeah.
they would used to do, where like, oh,
Yeah.
don't do
This is what
drugs.
happens if you don't fuck a rap.
I
Yeah,
just heard it was a
yeah,
very
yeah.
hard hitting, very tough subject type of movie, and that's not like the type of movies I go out of my way. Even now, I'm maybe just maybe its reputation has stirred me from seeing it, but I do want to see. That's definitely on the list too. Harmony Korine, I've only seen Spring Breakers and The Beach Bum. Of the things he's written and directed,
Oh,
those are
interesting.
the only two movies I've seen of his.
I mean, I think other than those two and Kids, I think that's the only things I've
yeah,
seen.
and he's made two
and he only
films
wrote
since.
Kids, I
He's
think.
made two films since Beach Bum.
He's working now with video, like people that are in like streamers now. I don't know if you heard about
He's-
this. He's very experimental.
He's very
Like,
experimental.
He's
Yes.
doing stuff now. He also, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, did he worked with
Travis
bum
Scott?
fights. Like, you know, bum fights. Remember
Yeah.
they used to do bum fight stuff.
Maybe.
He did a bunch of that kind of stuff. I believe.
I remember bum
Which-
fights
which
until
makes-
they fucking made it illegal.
I'm pretty sure there's this whole thing where he just followed somebody around and like basically like I think it was like a homeless guy.
That makes
and-
a lot of
that
sense.
sounds
for
like
this
something
Well,
fucking
if you
movie.
look at some of the scenes in this movie, yeah, exactly. It
Makes
makes a little
almost
bit of
perfect sense.
I might be mistaken on that, but I believe he
It
was
sounds
doing
like
that.
something that's very
I
up
believe
his
he was doing-
his style. you know?
or he was filming him just getting into fights with people, like
I
random
gotta
people.
tell you, like I read what his newest movie is about. I don't know. We could talk about it a bit
There's
later.
The
Like
Trap?
his
I
newest
watched
movie,
that
I think
one
it's
already.
called like Baby.
No, The Trap. Is that the one that? No, that's post production.
Anyways, we'll discuss that one later. I'll talk
Baby Invasion.
Baby Invasion. Do you know? Okay, can I? Okay, you
Go
know
ahead.
what that movie
Go ahead.
is? You know what that movie? Apparently, what I've read of that movie, because I don't think it's come out yet.
No, well, it looks like it.
You know what he's done in that movie? It's about these guys, like these home invaders, like these adults, and he like AI'd artificial intelligence, like babies' faces on top of the invaders. So it's like this adult-sized human adult holding a gun, but with a baby like superimposed on their face. Like it's what he's weird. Like to
this,
say the least.
this is the actual.
Baby Invasion, yeah, that's the one. And then he made like another movie with Travis Scott recently, Aggro Drift.
Oh, this is what I was
yeah,
thinking of.
Aggro
So it's not
Drift,
it's not bum
Circus
fights. It's not
Maximus.
bum fights. The thing I was thinking of is called Fight Harm. It's an abandoned project that he filmed in 1999. The premise was to verbally provoke passersby into a fight, and I believe he fought like some homeless people.
Yeah,
in this
no,
movie as a result.
he's
The rules were Corinne couldn't throw the first punch, and the person confronted had to be bigger than him. Bro, this is crazy.
it's like Fight Club,
yeah.
basically.
Yeah,
Basically Fight Club.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, but real.
exactly.
So yeah,
he actually was started that project.
he's
like,
an eccentric person, to say the least, and but an interesting
and
artist.
definitely somebody who's experimented with a lot of drugs, from
Oh,
what I can tell. Yeah,
Perhaps,
which
yeah,
is
most
fine.
likely.
I don't. I'm just saying. Yeah,
Most
for
likely.
sure.
But
I mean, look at his movies.
I saw
It's
the
his dream probably to work with Snoop Dogg, bro.
Yeah.
so yeah, definitely. He works with a lot of rappers too. I think Gucci Mane was in Spring Breakers,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I didn't see the movie when I saw that. Like I didn't rush to go see it when it came out. But then maybe like 1 year later, like fast forward a year later, that would have been like in the middle of the pandemic or a couple months into the pandemic, where I wasn't working, so I was watching a lot of movies. I was at home watching a lot of film, and my friend lent me his Amazon Prime account. And like I just gotten so sick of Netflix's library, so I was like, okay, let's see what Amazon is. And
Sure.
I could get into my qualms about Amazon. I hate that service. Like I hate how you click on a movie and you're not even fully aware if you can even are able to watch it because it says sign up for this secondary service or whatever and whatever.
Yeah,
So
it's got
but
so many other options.
it's so annoying. I hate Amazon
Amazon
Prime.
Prime's
I-
so good.
and it's got
I-
fucking commercials.
I don't like that service. So
Agreed.
the Beach Bum is on there. I'm like, okay, let me see. And also my cousin had seen it and he's like, yo, you should watch this. So I was like, okay, I watched it. This is like maybe winter of 2020. And so like a full year and a half after the movie had come out. And I watched it and I was like, okay, this is a cool movie. I like this movie, right? Whatever. And then around this time, it's so funny. Without the pandemic, I don't even think I'd be sitting in this chair right now. Cause that's I think how I got like introduced to like I was just watching your show and that's kind of like I knew you, but like even like through the show, and then like we became closer as friends because of that and
Yeah,
stuff.
and
And
I mean, it even took a long time for us to be able to bend your arm to be able to sit here and podcast. with
Yeah,
you, too. It's
exactly.
yeah, absolutely. Or even come meet you face to face. That took years,
yeah,
basically.
yeah,
So
Just to creep our chats, man.
so like this, yeah, that pandemic, for what an awful period it was, it did create, some positivity, some friendships were formed.
yeah, absolutely.
So so during this time, me and JT were like talking on the phone almost every night. Like he just calls me like every night. We're just shooting the shit or whatever. And he says, "Yo, Max, what's up? What you up to?" And I was like, "Hey, nothing, man. I just finished watching this movie." He's like, "Oh, what are you watching?" I said, "Oh, The Beach Bum. It's this film with Matthew McConaughey. It's kind of cool." He's like, "Bro, how come every time I call you, you're always watching some corny movie?" I swear he said this. Like, I'm gonna expose this guy right now.
Let me guess. Can I guess? Did he not watch it right away? And
He
then like,
hadn't even
months
seen-
later, he
Yes,
watches it.
you know
He's
the-
like, hey, you hear about this movie?
Exactly,
No, I just know
exactly
him.
the story.
I just know him. I just
Exactly the
know
story.
him. You see
No, he
it?
says, "Well, how come every time
I didn't even know that to be the case. I just know him. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why I have
yeah,
a bone to pick with this guy with this pick."
Bro,
He's like,
have you watched this movie, Beach Bum? Yeah, I told you about it like
Bro.
7 months ago. I'm pretty sure I told him about it too.
"So
I didn't know. I couldn't figure
he's
out
like-
which of the two.
He's
it
like,
was.
he's like,
100%.
yo, how come every time I call you, you're watching some corny ass movie?" And then he proceeds to tell me about some bullshit TV show he's been watching, like the new one. Every single time he calls me, he's watching a new one. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it. And then I was like, okay, whatever. So then months go by, and then I watched Late Night Chad, and you guys start talking about it. I don't know if maybe you reintroduced The Beach Bum to him, maybe like
don't
you had
know.
seen it, and
We talked.
I watched
about it, yeah.
one of your Monday shows, and you guys were talking about it, and then I was telling, and then Jay's like, "Yo, you seen Beach Bum? It's
So I think-
awesome."
during the pandemic too as well. You had said to watch it, check it out too.
Right.
I think to me, it's myself because that's what I mean. And both you
Probably
guys, I
both
think,
recommended it
and
to
it
you,
got
and-
crossed like in between things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so fucking
He
weird.
he didn't even know what he just instantly dismissed the shit out of the movie, like
Yeah,
went on the phone. And I was like, "Oh,
yeah.
okay."
But no, man,
Holy
I knew,
shit.
bro.
Sounds
I
about
mean,
right.
once
Sounds
I
about right.
once I no, you didn't tell me. I don't think originally that was Matthew McConaughey. I would have checked it out if
I don't.
would've
I
known
don't.
that.
I probably mentioned Matthew McConaughey.
No,
or-
I don't think anybody.
know. I
Did.
didn't-
think
I
it
didn't know you
started
had-
off- I think you did after when I was talking on the podcast.
Okay.
That you might have reiterated. Like,
Yeah.
maybe I brought it up to you. I think
Right.
so. Well, whatever it
So
was. But yeah, that's okay. Go
so
on.
it's just it's funny. It's just funny how things work out like that. And then it's funny too. The last episode you guys did, The Crow or whatever, when Jay announced his pick, he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna do the Beach Bum. And, I don't know if Max has seen it yet or not. I'm like, motherfucker, I told you about it. What are you talking about? He's like, I don't know if Max has seen it. Yeah, go back to the. I don't know if Max has seen it or not. I'm like, bro, are
Come
you
on,
for,
it
are
wasn't a
you for real
sarcastic
right
thing.
now?
It wasn't a sarcastic thing though.
So I don't know. I got like very like I got emotional about that kind of thing.
Well, it's okay.
So-
Bro, I mean, my files been all messed up in a while. You know that, right?
It's fun. It's kind of just funny. Like at this point, I'm just laughing. But so I watched the movie. I've seen it one time. Then I watched it months later. I saw it a second time, right? And this time I showed it to my sister. She hadn't seen it, right? And I was like, okay, you want to watch this? I liked it the first time. It's so crazy when you watch a movie that you've already seen before, but you're showing it to someone who hasn't seen it before. You're almost like watching it kind of kind of through their eyes a little bit. Like you're just kind of seeing like, oh, how are they going to react to it? Like kind of stuff. The second time I saw this movie with my sister, I did not realize like there is some really sadness. There's like a lot of sadness to this movie. Like when I first watched it, I'm like, oh, this is
But there's
amazing. and
positive
shit.
too in it.
No, there is, of course. But then I was like, holy shit, this movie is kind of dark in a lot of
Right.
ways. You know what I mean? And so I had only seen it two times. Now because of this, I'm watching it for the third time. I've only seen it 3 times. Also, I also remember this time too. During that whole time when I was chatting, I was always texting you guys like, "Oh, I love you, Belly. Yo, Belly's such an awesome movie. I'm watching it like." And then probably had seen it like 3 times in a week.
Right.
And Jay was getting like, "Yo, why is this guy always talking about this movie? Like he's so annoying." Meanwhile, this guy's watching The Beach Bum like 100 times in a like, bro, what? Like, what is this?
Bro, I showed
Like,
up to his work. I was still watching.
I'm just saying, okay, JT is a hypocrite, and then that's then my spiel.
No
yo.
shit, no shit.
Fuck
I
off,
know.
you
But I love this movie, and you know what? I love that he picked this movie because this movie is so like JT, like it's so up his alley for real.
Absolutely.
Like I don't think you could have picked a more
No,
movie
it's good.
that encompasses
I
his
agree.
taste
I
more
agree.
than this.
Bro,
So,
I'm
I'm
telling
kinda
you,
jealous how perfect
this
the pick is,
this movie resonated to me. I'm telling you, man.
Obviously.
yeah, no, I'm jealous how perfect a pick you pick. Like this is so JT.
I
like,
thought of you when I picked it. I was like, you. I'm telling you. I thought of you when I picked it. I know. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna because he didn't want to be on. Now I gotta. I was like, should I give him
I honestly, so for my experience with it, I'm pretty sure I seen this in theaters based off the
nice.
fact that I really enjoyed Spring Breakers.
Yeah.
And you actually just tapped into something. It's funny that you thought that this was sad or dark at times because that's basically what Spring Breakers is.
Yeah.
Spring Breakers is a really dark movie.
It is.
It's like everything around the film, you think it's going to be a fun time. Oh, it's spring break.
Right.
It's fun. Look where they are. Like, and then when you actually get into the movie, you find all this sadness, like you just said, like actually,
Yeah.
like in the film, like itself. So like it disguises itself of being one thing. I wouldn't say this goes as far as that one does.
Yeah.
That one's way darker. This has a lot of funny moments in it. This is like there's some absurdist funny moments in Spring Breakers, but it's not. It's meant to be absurd and funny at times, but it's not supposed to be as funny as this film is. This film has like honestly like 20 funny scenes. Like this is almost like they're just getting stoned and throwing ideas out and see what's hit, what sticks. Honestly, like that's how some of the plot kind of feels like in this movie because there's a lack thereof a plot in the second half of the film, which I'll get into because I feel like the first half is where you have all those moments where like you're referring to. Then I feel like it kind of goes off the rails and then they bring it back at the end. They do bring it back. So like for me, as you can tell, I do like this movie as well. I believe I saw this in theater.
That's awesome.
1 because of McConaughey, 2 because of the Harmony Korine because I heard he was doing this after the Spring Breakers film, which I really enjoyed. But also because of McConaughey. Because like honestly, like so I've probably seen this movie like I don't know 3 or 4 times probably now at this point. I've watched it a couple times after I watched it in theaters, and I've always enjoyed it. It's a fun movie, honestly. And when Jay picked this one, like you said, I think it really does. It is really a good JT pick, honestly. And honestly, it's a fun watch. This is actually one of the most fun rewatchable movies we've talked about on this show.
Absolutely.
Since we've kind of like rebranded, like what basically restarted the show and kind of like brought Max in and Julia. And I feel like this is one of the easiest watches. It's like just over an hour and a half. You can throw this on.
It feels like it's longer.
Yeah, but you can just like watch a couple of scenes. You don't even need to really watch the whole movie. Watch a couple of funny scenes. Like it actually is really good for that because I feel like not to say we picked a lot of serious picks so far, but I don't think every pick we've had so far has been very rewatchable like this movie has been. Like this is a very easy watch, honestly, to throw on and just enjoy a couple of scenes. And so my kind of like points about this film there, you know, I just kind of in terms of like I said, I talked about it, my experience here. I just feel like this movie epitomizes like I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Honestly, like this
straight
is,
up.
that's what this film is. Like this is
Right.
what this character is. And this came out at a time that it's basically a tail end of a great run by McConaughey. This is when I feel like people started taking him seriously again. This is when like people
This is
were
long
like,
after that, though.
yes, this is at the tail end
tail
of
end,
that,
yeah,
but
yeah.
this is still part of the McConaissance. Like this is part of
Yeah.
the run that he had. This is kind of where he's petering out, but he had won an award for Dallas Buyers Club already by this point. He had been in a bunch
He's
of
allowed to have a fun time,
Interstellar,
bro.
I think, has already come out by now,
I
right?
can't
Like
think of a movie.
True Detective, like is around.
There's
the,
a lot. There's
like,
a lot of stuff that
I
around
can't
that
think of
time.
a
If I
movie
looked it up-
McConaughey has made since this one. I just can't picture
He's
it.
been in things since this.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure he
that-
has been,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
just for whatever reason can't remember.
But
a
this was,
single
like
one.
I said, at the tail end of that fantastic run he had of movies.
after
like,
the
yeah,
kill, the True Lies or whatever the fuck it
True
was.
Detective.
True Detective, not
Yeah,
True
True
Detective.
Lies
True
started-
Detective was way before.
Not
this.
True Detectives, the other one. What the fuck was it called? The big one, man. That was his big fucking when he
Dallas
realized.
Buyers Club. Oh my,
Which he won
Lincoln
the Oscar
Lawyer,
for.
Lincoln Lawyer, all
Link-
kinds.
no.
There's a great
Yeah.
run. It's a great run. It's a great run of films. But
No, he was
but that's what I mean. Like this was kind of like him having
Interstellar.
fun with something. It felt like this is something like the fact that he got him to star in this movie as hot as he was at this point in time, like it's kind of a great testament to like the fact that like McConaughey really wanted to do this movie. And like, you know, listen,
Yeah.
people know that McConaughey is like kind of like a stoner with Woody and shit
But
like
it's-
that. You hear about that kind of shit,
Yeah.
them hanging out with him and
It goes back, even further than you're saying there too. It goes back
Oh,
to
absolutely.
Time to Kill. That's when he
No,
realized that.
but
he
then
was
he
famous.
became shirtless McConaughey. See, this is what happened. He became
Yeah, he became
rom-com
rom-com. Yeah.
McConaughey shirtless on a beach in every movie. That's what was going on
You know,
for a while.
if
there.
you go back
and
to
he stopped acting in serious films.
If-
You're right. Time to Kill was excellent,
Yeah.
but then after that, he
Yeah.
became
That's when he knew he was
shirtless
famous. That
You know, but then he became like he's leaning on people in posters.
Yeah.
Like he's a rom-com,
back-to-back, yeah,
yeah,
like you said,
rom-com
it's so funny.
McConaughey, bro. That's
no,
that was the shirtless McConaughey era. Then it
it
became
was.
the McConaissance.
The
He's in Wolf of
McConaissance.
Wall Street. He steals the show. He's in it for like
Absolutely.
2 minutes. Like this is
He's-
part of
he's
that.
the best part of
period.
that movie,
Yeah, this is
by far.
the period where McConaughey was just like, you know what? Enough of this. All right. Enough of me without a shirt on a beach. I'm McConaughey, guys. Like,
This is
yeah.
But this is like kind of a return then to
Yeah,
that stoner McConaughey that we
but
know him
that's,
from.
But that's what I like this movie. That's why I said he kind of came back to his roots with this one.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really like this. Have you guys ever heard the story about McConaughey? He got like the cops came, he got arrested because he was playing bongos naked on a beach or something back in the day. There's a whole.
No.
I think he talked about it on like one of the late night talk shows. Google it. Put McConaughey.
So he's a
bongos.
legit stoner in real life.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So then why was he
Maybe
like?
not like his identity now, but like he's
Maybe
been
he's
known
like-
to smoke.
Why?
he's
Why
been known to
was he
smoke.
like? Why was he then?
Him and Woody and friggin' what's
I
his
know Woody
name?
Harrelson is on that
Yeah,
lifestyle,
they're
but
good friends.
Why
But-
wasn't he smoking in this movie?
no. Why did he get so tripped out when Snoop gave him real weed then?
I don't think he's maybe like a smoker on the set,
I don't think he's a JT.
and he's not really, and maybe he's not like a smoker anymore, but he used to be. Like he used to be a big partier. This guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
so,
what I was
like-
just curious because I thought maybe he was
I mean,
like that was just
he had
his
the money
persona.
for better drugs, bro. I'm
I
telling
thought that
you.
was just his persona, like just not as a stoner, but just as like a naturally relaxed,
No,
kind
like
of chill
him
guy.
and Woody, they hang out with Willie Nelson. What do
Oh,
you think's
yeah,
going
bro.
on? Like
I know
come
Woody. I know
on.
Woody
And
is in
you know
that.
what? In 2019, I
And-
don't think it was legal.
And honestly,
either.
speaking of Woody is probably the only person I think that could have played this role other than McConaughey.
No,
I don't even see Woody in this.
I-
Film.
You don't
I
think
don't-
so? You
No,
don't think Woody
no,
could have done
No,
this?
I don't
Oh,
think
man.
anybody really could have done this one, bro. This
Yeah.
was a special
is-
one
this
that I
is-
think he had to bring
I-
back home.
I
bro,
don't know this
after
for a
his
fact, but
fucking
I would
Dazed
not
and
be
Confused.
surprised if Harmony wrote this for him.
Oh, yeah.
I would
Oh,
not
yeah.
be surprised.
Definitely.
Like honestly,
You know what? And maybe I still feel like I don't know. I didn't check this much into it, but I feel like he could have had maybe like Harmony, the director there, could have actually gave him a part like where he was with the homeless people there. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he just reacted, and while they were recording, they brought that there, for that reason.
Right.
There's a lot of things in this film that could have been done just for the fun of it, bro. There is this whole fucking movie looks like it could
Yeah.
have been fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It
I mean-
looks very like almost like secretly filmed a little,
Just
like
thrown
the,
together.
That's what I
thrown
mean.
together. Like a lot of the extras or whatever, they probably don't even know that this was like a movie or whatever.
Well, I noticed too, like
That's why they had names like number one.
I don't know if you
prostitute,
noticed,
number
like
two.
something I noticed this time while we were watching this is that he does something similar in Spring Breakers too. There's a bunch of scenes, especially with Jonah Hill, You could tell a lot of it was just improvised. I feel
you
like
definitely get
Oh,
that.
yeah.
because the way
well.
he cuts it together, there's lots of scenes where you're watching them do something and you're hearing the dialogue from another scene. Then he'll layer in the scene,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
it won't start until like 5 or 10 seconds later. You're watching them like, and then you're hearing him
jumps.
saying the
Some of the
dialogue
lines.
to another scene, and he did this in Spring Breakers a lot too.
Yeah,
It
plays
becomes
the
very.
song.
I think it's purposely trying to be trippy, like in a way, like
Absolutely.
at
Yeah,
times.
he's trying to see if you're paying attention too.
Yeah, well, I don't really know if there's like that much. Like, it's not that deep, this film, but
No,
I
but
think
it's a person with short that does shorts and stuff too, like you said,
yeah,
and music videos. It's an actor's style. It's a director's style, I think, when they like to do these short, quick snippets. Because honestly, I think it's an attention span thing.
right.
And, I mean, he's been doing it for a long time with movies. If you really look into stuff that he's doing, I was
Yes,
just looking.
yeah.
He's been doing it for quite a while,
Well,
right?
Kids was
So,
early 90s. He
if
was
ki-
so young when he wrote that
Dude,
movie.
and that jumps weird.
94 or
it
95 or
does.
something, right?
And
Yeah.
it's for it's for the different attention span.
That's
It's
like 30 years ago now,
yeah.
right? So,
So, you know, it's a
yeah.
trip, bro. It really is.
It really is. This movie feels like a hazy dream. Like it feels like a dream
It
watching
does.
this movie because
Smoke a
I-
joint,
even
and
though-
it
Surreal,
tells you
very
even better,
surreal.
bro.
very surreal because I saw this for the third time when we did this for doing this one, and I couldn't remember how the movie even started. And I was like, oh shit! I felt like I was watching the movie for the first time again, like because I couldn't remember just certain parts of it, and
Right.
it feels very
It's
like
a mix.
it feels like one of those types of movies you can really just check in at any point
Yes.
and you can
Yes.
get it and you
Yes.
got what you needed
almost-
to get, you know.
It almost feels like the beginning starts with the end, which doesn't really happen, but it almost makes it feel like that. It's like, you know, the beginning starts the beginning, then you got the kind of end at a certain way up to a story, and then it starts a new part of a story that makes an even bigger story that brings it back to like
There's
why he's doing it. You
there's
know, like
also-
it's a lot of jumping and a lot of messing with your head.
absolutely. There's also feels like there's a lot of like I don't know, for lack of a better word, like repetition in the movie, kind of in a way. And what I mean by that is like he'll show you Moondog just hanging out,
Right.
typing on his typewriter,
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
lying, sleeping somewhere. Then he goes meet some character or whatever. They go meet some character. Then
Yeah.
it goes back to the whole Moondog by the ocean tripping out. Like it's kind of like a very cyclical kind of like process that is going on.
So
and-
I heard I kind of tried to look up some like interviews about this, and Harmony Korine had mentioned that his inspiration for doing this movie is that he just knows people like this in the Florida.
Oh,
Like he
yeah.
would see people like this in the Florida Keys, like just it's Florida, like random like characters, and he
Yeah.
was just like, why don't I make a movie about a guy that's kind of like this? Like what does
Yeah.
this guy's day consist of? Like who
Yeah.
is this guy? Like, you know what I mean? So I feel like he said he got the inspiration of doing this movie as a result of just seeing characters like that, and that's really what the movie is made up of, is characters, all
Absolutely.
kinds of interesting, weird, like you said, like eclectic people, like weird kind of like people, like honestly, like it's very interesting,
eccentric, right?
eccentric, yeah,
Yeah.
not eclectic, yeah, but yeah, so yeah,
Eclectic too, but
yeah, exactly, yeah,
What's eclectic?
like diverse.
yeah.
Well, you guys keep using big words.
Sorry.
Like, let's dumb this down. We're on something.
Okay,
We're on
yeah,
a late
let
night
me-
chat
oh,
network. Okay?
grrr. Hold on, let me
Yeah,
bring
yeah.
it down a couple notches.
We're talking like
Um,
beach bums right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's a writer, so he
he's-
would know that.
no, I
word,
know what
you know?
diverse is. Don't worry.
So,
I get it.
so no, the character. Yeah.
So
go
I
ahead,
threw
go
your,
ahead.
I threw your
Go
thought off there. I threw your thought off there. You know what it was?
Go
It's
ahead.
because
Jay.
I
No,
made
go
this-
ahead. What's this movie about? Tell us the
What
basic
is-
plot
yeah.
of this film, because we haven't really gone into it even.
You know, the basic plot is what I find is a love story with somebody who's lost, in a sense, in his ways. Okay, and she there's someone that we'll find out because we'll talk about it. But I mean, generally, is the love of his life fucking dies after him, and he goes on this binge because he's got no choice. And we're gonna get into that scene too after sooner or later. But at the end of the day, it all reverts back to, you know what? He started off, okay. He's supposed to be rich. He's not really
He's a
rich.
poet. He writes.
Yeah, he
books.
wrote
He's a
he
poet.
wrote a book.
Yeah.
He wrote a book, made him a lot of money for one point, and then he just totally fucking
And he
blew it
married
away.
somebody else who's rich.
was loaded,
And he's
Not rich.
basically,
loaded.
yeah, she's got $46 million, as we learned by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
At least that she left him.
That she left him
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
And yeah, and then it
It's
kind of
half of what she had.
right. And this guy just chooses to spend his days getting hammered and
Getting drunk,
and
getting
get
fucking high.
high and hanging out in the Keys, in Florida Keys.
but
And-
slumming it, not even hanging
Yeah.
out, bro. Slumming it. He's
Yeah.
only
hence
self-doing
the
his
Beach
addiction.
Bomb
Yes.
name. Yeah.
And this is a great movie for people that have addictions and can understand it and maybe want to take a reevaluation of their life, I think, too, in a sense. Like I don't recommend it. I'm not a fucking doctor here, but I choose to believe that this is a good movie. And if you come in with those eyes, it'll help. It'll help. But a lot of people stay focused to this movie. But at the end of the day, it's a genuine love story, and it's a fucking mess. But it's a great
Perfect.
fucking film. That's, to be honest with you, I think people, everybody's got their own opinions, and I understand that, and anybody out there, but I'm gonna tell you, it brings me back to Days of the Confused. Even I'm going even
Yeah.
further now
Yeah.
with him. I'm going right back to the beginning, and this is what can happen 20 years later down the road if you don't fucking smarten up.
It does feel like that same character he played, like
That's
in
why
Dazed
I
and
feel-
confused,
when
but like
you said
20, 30 years
He
later.
brings it
kinda.
back to his roots. That's what happens. That's what his roots are. His 20s.
You know what's funny? This
That's
is
what makes it a fun
almost like
film.
culturally what people used to think of Matthew McConaughey
When
in
he
this
first
film.
came out.
So it's kind of interesting that
Yeah.
he is the star. I don't know if that's purposeful on Harmony Korine.
It has to be.
right. Like
has-
that's a good point you made, Jay. Yeah,
But
very
it's
good
a
point.
selling point, especially if at this point, Matthew McConaughey is a fucking huge actor.
Yeah.
And $5 million budget isn't going to
Academy.
even fucking pay his fucking scenes, really, at
Right.
the end of the day.
Right.
Okay. Because he was in this 90% of the fucking movie.
Oh, but if you listen to him talk about this film, he had a blast doing this.
But
So,
I think
yeah,
that's
yeah.
where it helped.
Yes,
and I think that's where it helped him as a person. He was able, he had his family. He grew up by this time.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? Let's go out there and have fun. And let's just do a film where I can get big actors out there that make good money. And let's just have a good time. And who knows what they were promised on set, bro? I mean, these guys could have brought their own supplies. I mean, we got to know that Snoop's brought his own supply
Of course
for
he did,
himself,
yeah.
right? Like,
Why don't you take us into we've said the plot of the movie and the kind of the basic.
Right.
yeah. So I was
Yeah.
gonna say, when we get into the scenes, we're gonna get
go
so
ahead.
let's go. We'll get
Yeah.
into some of these scenes because there's so many. I mean, I don't want to steal all everybody's thunder because I know everybody's got
Your
their own
pick.
picks of scenes.
Bust out your.
But no,
Yeah,
no, no.
It's your
I-
time
I-
to
I
shine,
mean,
bro.
I mean, I got a lot. I got them all like fucking separate, but I can go like I like almost just about every scene in this movie. I don't know what ones to pick better.
No,
bro.
it's
no.
definitely
It's
there-
fun. It's a
it's
fun, movie.
It's corny too, and that's what makes me like it. For some reason, in a weird, sick fucking way. But it's great to do it. So okay, I like the opening scene. Okay, when he's got the poem and he's talking about his dick. Okay, because that scene sets the tone for the movie. When he's coming
Yeah,
off
and he
the
circles
fucking
back
scene.
to it at
Wait,
the
wait.
end of the movie.
When he
yeah.
when he comes back when he comes back and he's just walking and he sees this little white pussy cat. I think of Nico every time he sees a cat. I can see Nico
it's
doing that
such an
as he's
absurd
drinking his
movie.
beer. As he's drinking his beer, right? So, oh hey pussy, and he's talking and somebody send him a gelato. What do they call him? A gelato gatto.
It was so funny about this movie. It's like it's so absurd, but no one in the movie is acting like this is
No.
like out of the norm. Like
No.
this, like out of the, like this is
Like,
all
how
just.
do they keep straight faces?
Yeah,
in
like
some of
I
this
don't
film
know,
part?
bro. Like it is. You
Yeah.
can see one scene after another. It's just
But
like,
that's the beauty of the film.
that's
honestly.
it is.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
That's the artwork.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of artwork in
It's,
this.
it's
film.
it's very well made movie. It's a great movie, honestly.
There's the scene when he decides to go back home after he falls on the floor, and he's sitting there with the lady.
He decides
his
he wants to go
cleaning
back
lady.
to civilization, as he calls
Well,
it.
he gets a
yeah.
call. He gets a call, and there's a song that's playing when he gets a call that really fits that scene, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of a love song. There's a lot of Jimmy Buffett. There's a lot of old
Sure.
country. There's a lot of old. There's a lot of great music to the soundtrack. That's another thing, guys.
Reggae, right?
There's a few nice steel drum jam songs in it, right? But there's a lot of great music that I think goes well with the scenes, and it's hard to describe them as much as I want to because the music's not playing in my head right now. I would love that if I was able to, but yeah. So he's the cleaning lady's getting him up, and she's fucking putting the ice on his head, and you don't know if that's his cleaning lady, or if it's the one you don't know yet if this is the one he's falling. He's another girlfriend that he has
Sure.
because she gives him a kiss on the mouth. She bandages him all up, and he's got to go back because he gets a call from his wife, who's like, you gotta come back to civilization, right? So it's like the beginning starts with the middle. There we go, because it's almost like the beginning starts with the
Yeah.
middle. So you get that part of it, and then I like that scene there because it kind of sets up where this is going. then we lead into I want to lead into another scene because I like this part of that scene too, is where he decides to make that go back to civilization, and this is after he's already been in the bar and after he's already done a bunch of
Sure.
stuff like that. I can picture so many people falling like the way he does in that thing before the cleaning lady, drunk ass, like trying to reach for a fucking beer, wiped out, boom, out, right?
He's talking about me.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about a few people that I know that I've seen that can kind of happen to, or piss in the closet or do some sort of shit like that, right?
Yeah. All right.
He's randomly making out with his maid and shit. It's so
Yes,
funny.
but this is what I get. Like I was trying to figure out. I wanted to pose that as a question to you guys too. Is that you think that's more of like a motherly affection in a way,
Mother-
as opposed to a I don't know. He is a flirter. He's very flirtatious in this movie, so it's hard.
Bro, this guy
He's
like
a man of the world. He's a man of the keys, bro. Like,
Jeez.
No. Dude, when you think of this guy, and I want to be this. I want to be this person. I sometimes just want to leave this fucking.
you don't drink.
That's the problem, and I can't. Like I mean, so I can't
He
be
smokes.
exactly this person. Yeah,
You're like halfway there, right?
I'm already halfway, but you can't be that poetic, right?
Start writing.
No, you're
bro.
very bad with your words. You're not.
I am
nice
very,
whatsoever.
very, very
Can I
bad.
just
with my
say
words.
that
Yeah, you're
poem-
on a podcast.
Can I just say that poem that he says, even though it's so ridiculous, there is sort of like a beautiness
Yeah,
to it. It's like it
yeah.
is kind of heartfelt where he's like,
Yeah.
I looked at my dick and I'm happy
Yeah, what is the
because
quote?
it was inside you twice today, and that
Yeah,
made me feel
For the second
beautiful.
time today.
And he's looking
Yeah.
at the
And it
cat
made
though.
me feel beautiful, and I'm like, that's kind of that's some real shit, man. Like that's some like that's some really,
That's why
there's some beautiness to it,
and
to his ridiculous
there's
words.
all these scenes in the movie where he'll bust something like that out, like that scene with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah,
He's like,
and he starts
"God
crying."
damn, Boondogg!" He's like, "Will you just come up with that shit?" He's just like, "No, that's like,
DH
so,
Lawrence,
yeah." but I stole it.
Bro, that's why he's living like he's living life
He's
by
like,
his.
"That's my shit,
Dude,
Boondogg."
Snoop was about to cry and shit. It was so funny. Oh my god, bro. You know the thing is like, even though Snoop's character is named Lingerie, I
They call him
want
Ray, though.
they call him Ray.
Yeah,
Ray,
but it's
short for lingerie.
Yeah.
There's a part in the movie where he talks about, I don't know if you guys caught it, but he talks about how he had like a single on the radio for 16 weeks in a row or
I
whatever.
was gonna ask that
So I'm
as a
thinking,
question.
is he just playing Snoop Dogg with an alias of like, is he actually Snoop Dogg, but now he's going as lingerie
I
to
don't
these
know.
people or
I
whatever?
don't know.
And then they play one of his songs in the movie, the
Shiznit,
right?
yeah.
The Shiznit.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
Listening to Snoop Dogg's own music.
again, if you watch Spring Breakers and you watch this, you can tell that Harmony Korine has like a interest in rappers, with rap,
Absolutely.
with the culture,
Yeah.
of that's going on in like you
Army
know,
Korine is a cool dude. man.
yeah. So that's why and now he's pivoting into like his most recent film is that he thinks that streamers are the big stars of today. He's like
They are, really.
He made a speech about how which they are.
They
which
are.
I think
bro.
he's kind of onto something. He's like, you guys, like he was trying to tell filmmakers, you need to start
Yeah.
focusing on streamers because this is what the kids are into now, and
Yeah.
this is kind of like what people want to see, and
Yeah.
this is like the people you should start utilizing in your films.
You know-
because he in his newest movie he has a streamer in it. Like, so
Well, I feel that's why there's such quick scenes in this one, and they
He's a
blend
forward
together.
thinker. He's
Yeah,
very
very interesting.
forward.
But that's where I feel like this whole jumping with scene to scene quickly, and they all really play out as
You
one
know-
scene. It really, I think that's kind of like a gimmick that he put together specifically for this movie, because it's easier to jump through like that, or cut and paste and put together.
one thing he does leads to another, essentially.
Yeah.
You're right. Like everything he does will lead to another scenario of some sort. But that's, I feel like it's because he's a drifter through life.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I think
People
he's trying
coming
to,
in and out, like
that's what I
crazy.
think he's trying to capture with that, is that he just drifts out of one situation to another. When
But
you
if we
see
look
my
how
movie
cost
pairings
efficient-
lately, you later when you want to get to the movie pairing,
I'm
Yes.
curious to hear
I
them.
have the perfect movie pairings. For this.
Okay,
I'm telling
okay,
you.
okay.
Yeah.
So-
But go
Um,
ahead.
No, but that's why I'm saying he's doing this, because it also, if you look at it from a budget perspective, you're actually cutting the budget because you're only keeping 2 actors, let's say, or maybe 3 on set at one point, and as opposed to having everybody. So you'll have, like, say, Matthew McConaughey and Snoop together for a longer period of time,
Right.
and he's probably, you know, one or the other has a different schedule they got to work with, so they try to work it. And I think they were the only ones on set. You won't have the big ones there until unless they're just filming specifically around the pool.
I'm just guessing when I say this, but I also feel like this is one of those movies where like he's calling in favors of people he knows or people that want to work with him. Because like look at the people that he's got in this. Martin Lawrence, who like wasn't a big star at this time, but it's Martin Lawrence.
When was the
He's still a
last
comedian.
time we saw Martin Lawrence?
But I
before
was
this
so
movie?
happy to see him. In
Absolutely,
this movie. That's what I mean. But
He's
you're right.
Martin Lawrence.
But I feel like he maybe knew him personally, or maybe just knew that people have forgotten about the guy.
I think it's kind of like this.
They all want to work with Snoop.
The same sort of thing that you would see like a lot of filmmakers in the 90s would do is that you would kind of like revive people whose careers kind of had went down the hill, like Tarantino used to do that a lot, and Paul Thomas Anderson, like Boogie Nights with Burt Reynolds, for example, like that would be like one. One thing that or John Travolta in Pulp Fiction, like John Travolta's career was in the shitter like at that point, right? And then so what I think it's just maybe with the in case of Martin Lawrence, I just think no one was calling him for like to do roles, and so he was just like, hey, come do this movie. But I read an interview earlier today about Harmony Korine and just his opinions, and he's a very fascinating guy actually. Like he was talking about how like he doesn't even like to even make movies. He's like he's an artist, like he's a painter and all this stuff, and he started out as a skateboarder, and he has the hat, he has the captain's hat. So I'm starting to think like a lot of his own personality is in Moondog, like the basis of Moondog. And he was saying stuff about like how he feels like narrative in movies are so like they're all the same, they feel so similar to one another, and how he doesn't even like to write dialogue because you can tell, the audience can tell when a character is speaking, it's all coming from the same point of like it's coming from the same voice, it's the same point of view. So I could imagine that there was a lot of the dialogue in this movie is very improvised. He just let the actors like have fun with it.
Oh,
like,
those Jonah scenes are 100% improvised.
Oh my god, I couldn't
100%.
imagine. Okay, for honestly, like even
There's
Snoop scenes. They're like if anyone knows Snoop and has seen interviews with Snoop, that's Snoop. Like that whole point when they're like driving down the road in that car, that really nice car we were talking about earlier.
Oh, that
really nice car.
Voice, or if it was something.
I don't know
like
what car that is, but it's so beautiful.
There's one from the 80s that did.
It's like an old school car.
Old school car. They're driving down
the 80s that they made.
They're driving down the strip in that car, and then
it looks like the Monopoly car.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It does. Absolutely. That's what I think of.
But that's what I'm saying. There was a car that came out in the 80s, the early 80s, that made it look like a classic.
Yeah.
But it was like a V8
like
or
a Roadster or something.
What is that?
Big fucking
Cadillac or a Chevrolet.
I used to have a grocery.
About cars.
I used to work at a grocery store, and the owner had one, and it was was nothing special.
So he like there's a scene in that when they're driving down the thing, and Matthew McConaughey, Moondog, is dressed in like a woman's dress or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, Moondog, like, what would your girls think if they're, if they saw this hot blonde next to you?"
Yeah.
And then Moondog is Snoop Dogg is like, he's like, "Oh yeah, that's some interracial shit. That's like some
Raquel
Welch and Jim Brown." I'm like, no way that Harmony Korine wrote that. That is 100% Snoop Dogg, right there. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot in that movie, and you'll also notice like all these great side characters that really complement the movie. Like every time he meets a new one, you kind of get the sense, even though Matthew McConaughey, the beach bum, is the star of the movie, you can kind of get the feeling like when these side characters come in, they kind of, the spotlight is kind of on them. They're kind of given the stage, and they go on these long sort of monologues, these long tangents. When Martin Lawrence comes into the movie, it's almost like he's talking 90% of his scenes.
He lets them cook. He lets them
exactly. And so it's like I could imagine that he just said, "Yo, just go for it." Like to these actors, just go for it. Like, don't worry about anything. And so like you get that feeling 100% that these actors came in, because it's so interesting about these characters is that even though they're only there for a short time, they feel so like realized,
right?
And they feel so they stand out. They really do stand out. Like
even lived in characters.
They lived in characters, even though they're only there for a couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes, and that's it. That's the next character. It's crazy how specific these characters feel. Really, like,
right?
It's like just meeting somebody on the street, like any day on the street, like me. Like I go out there and I sit there and I fucking talk to people that have nobody gives them even the fucking time of day.
That's why, like, I feel like he's just like somebody who's been like that's why I think that's why he, like you said, he got this idea from seeing characters like that, like that is like a Moondog type of guy. he probably is
Yeah, he
just-
knows someone exactly like that. He
Yeah,
knows
and
who.
So that's why it feels so real, like this movie.
Jonah Hills is probably like his actual agent.
No, Jonah Hill is like the
Dude,
most
He's
ridiculous.
the
like,
worst agent.
The fact that the fact that he's like busting out this Southern dandy like accent is hilarious.
Bro, I
Hey,
cannot,
Bulldog!
I cannot for the life of me understand where Jonah. What is that accent he's doing? Like, is
It's
that?
like a Southern.
But then
Like,
he shifts into like this
Texas. Yeah,
black
Texas
preacher, like just
it's a
Al
Southern
Sharpton.
dandy, like kind of like I'm telling you, that's what it is.
He's
like,
playing a snobby
man, I can't-
fucking
snobby Southern
agent.
guy.
Yeah.
Bro, I can't wait till we get to the quotes because
Yeah.
holy
I
shit.
got some, I have his written down too.
This is very quotable. The whole
Yeah,
fucking
well,
movie
We're
is
still
quotable.
on scenes.
Yes,
should
I know.
remind you. We're
So
on
what's your
tangent.
favorite
But-
scene? What's your
but-
favorite
Bust
scene?
out another scene for us so we
Dude,
can go
okay,
around.
I mean,
I know what my favorite scene is.
there's quite a few, but so I'm gonna give you one that I really like that really stands out for me. It's gonna direct is that one that I told you where they don't really even say anything, dude. They just play the right song, they put it on, and they
God
actually
damn it, you took my favorite scene. Yeah, it's excellent.
they
It's-
bro, it's
when they
the
dance.
dance just
it's a
before.
great scene.
If you listen to the music, they have no talking.
Him and his
This
him and
is
his wife.
after
Yeah.
this is after
him
he
and Minnie
he finds out
after
that
the wedding, he
yeah.
finds out that Ray has
Is
been
bang- is
cheating
banging
on
on her.
Yeah.
And-
Or sorry, she's been cheating
On
on
it
him with
with- yeah.
Ray.
but I mean he's been doing his own cheating, so why did
Go
it
ahead,
bother him
go
so
ahead,
much?
though.
Yeah.
You're-
So-
this is my favorite scene, by the way.
But yeah,
too. Yeah.
So this is slowly.
I'm a
This is
fan,
where they
too.
kind of jump. This is because it plays as a big scene in a sense because it starts off like this is a big turning point in the movie too.
Yeah.
And what happens is he sees her. He gets really high with Snoop with those fucking one type of grass that he gets from Jamaica, right? So I think he figured he
Fog
had
in
him.
Jamaica.
No. I think this is after in the middle of the wedding, and I think he had thought that maybe Matthew McConaughey Moondog couldn't handle his shit, right?
Right.
But this guy was on it, and he went looking for his wife, and he finds his wife making out with
Ray.
with lingerie, right? As we know, that's been present when he has been missing, right? And when he's been on his little tangents, right? And it's all good. I mean, he sees it, he looks at it, but you can tell that he physically and you can see it in his face that it hurts.
Well, yes, and there's
Yeah,
actually a
facts.
really good scene that follows that
yeah,
as well,
What?
where he drifts into the pool, and he kind
That's
of
walks
going
towards
above
his
water.
daughter.
a pro
bro,
move.
that was beautiful.
But it's almost like he's depressed now after seeing
No,
that,
it hurt
and
him.
he's like,
But he
and
still wants to save the joint.
it's a pro move. I was gonna say that's a pro move that he did with the joint above the water. And
I don't think
he
it's
drifts
that
in.
hard to do.
No,
Oh,
man,
you try it, bro. Go let me
I
know.
want to
With
try it now.
full
I don't-
clothed, fully clothed. He had shoes
that's a
on and
pro
everything.
move.
Bro,
That's
you're
a
in.
pro move.
Oh, okay.
He had
But-
shoes on.
But you could tell
I
that he
think I
was
could do
like
that
in his
shit.
head, like in that moment.
Yeah.
Like, he was.
Of course, he was
He was-
affected by it, for
right.
sure.
But it's funny just because like this is a guy that we seen bang somebody
Yeah.
literally previous to the wedding when he's
Yeah.
slapping her on the ass with a spatula in the back of the kitchen. And
The
meanwhile,
movie literally
right.
opens up with him on a boat. One
Right,
hand he's got a
right,
black girl, the other hand he's
right,
got a white girl, and they're
right.
both he's just
They're
fishing and
topless.
shit.
Yeah. So but
Like-
that's what I mean. So like it
You got Margaritaville playing during that time, bro. If you listen to the words in that song, it's a depressing song.
right.
It is, and it leads to something good, right? But if it's a turnaround song too as well. If you actually know the song itself,
Right.
it does. It talks about weird thing, but it actually he goes to dance with his daughter at that point.
But following the scene that I mentioned though, when he goes to meet up with his wife there, like talk about that. 'Cause
Yeah,
that is
because that's it follows right into this scene where he goes into a bar, okay, because he's in his head, he knows he's fucked up, and he talks to these two people at a bar, a couple, I guess.
On their
I didn't even
anniversary.
know it was their 100% what they had said about it was their anniversary. I know
He just
said
made
to,
that shit up.
yeah, I think he said it to them, and then he said it to also his wife, who shows up in the scene after. But he goes to them and he starts saying, I knew she was fucking Ray this whole time, right? And it's in his head, and you can tell he's upset about it, but he's still fucking high as a kite. He's drunk as fuck, right? And he's playing with the jukebox, and he's trying to fucking find. And there's a good song that's playing. It's called Luton Built. It's Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson.
Oh yeah.
It's called Luton Bog, Texas, right? It's a great song. It was right, and it's playing, and then she comes in, and she I guess she kind of got the inkling that something was up.
Yeah.
Right. And she went to go look for him. Right.
Yeah.
She comes in. she's fucked up just as much as him.
Yeah.
Okay, and she goes, "Well, let's go driving." So they get into the car. They go into to a place, and all of a sudden, there's no more talking. He starts to play that song, like "Is That All There Is" by Betty.
Yeah, he's
Betty
got
Lee.
like a music box around his neck.
Yeah.
And they start dancing
Yeah.
to that song. And yeah, anyway.
That song is in that scene. This is where I want to say they dance that song and they play that scene out, and then right at the end of the scene, as their scene's starting to end and the song's starting to die out, and the song, if you're listening to the words, it's saying the last breath part.
Yeah.
They get into. She's driving behind the wheel.
He cuts back and forth from scenes of them in a car.
Yeah, as they're dancing,
and her fucking veering. Well, you don't even see it.
Yeah,
but you see
Right.
that she ends
The
up in the
headlights.
he ends up waking up in an ambulance.
Yeah.
And
unharmed.
Yeah.
Unharmed, right?
And
He's unharmed.
No.
he's unharmed.
He's unharmed.
Yes.
But she isn't.
She is in a fucking critical state.
She was the driver, though.
Yeah.
of the
Yes.
car, too.
She was.
Yeah.
And I still wonder if that was almost purposely done
In
in
what
her-
way? For what reason? What do you mean?
in a subconscious thing, saying because the song that they were playing. and
Oh,
how
I'm sure it
she,
was.
She
Yeah,
had
yeah,
everything
yeah.
planned out and everything how we figure out on her will and stuff, right? And afterwards, right? But I think it
That's
was
interesting,
purposely.
yeah.
I think it was purposely done because she knew if that's all there is to love, then she had it.
So with your point given there, like the way I looked at that scene was, what did I write down here about that? Like I really what I felt in this moment is like whatever they have
Mhm.
works for them.
Yeah.
Like, this is them coming to peace with that. I felt in this moment, and like I feel like it's a very misunderstood relationship. She obviously fell in this love with this guy for his mind. She said she was banging Snoop Dogg because of the sex.
Yeah.
But like
She's genuinely in love with him.
yes, and Snoop says that later on. You can tell that she's like fascinated by
Mm.
this guy. She's like, "Oh yeah, that's just Moondog." Like she puts up with a lot, like over this guy.
Yeah.
Like he just fucks. But that's what I mean. But it's always it's just funny because it's clearly not a two-way street because he goes on, does whatever the hell he wants, but he comes back, and of course, like men normally do, he's pissed off when he finds out his wife's cheating. on him,
Right.
But he didn't really get pissed off. He
no,
was
he was
upset.
sad.
Upset.
He was
Yeah,
very
yeah,
sad.
yeah,
He never
yeah,
got
yeah.
pissed off.
No,
What
you're
he
right,
did
you're
was
right.
he took it. He started to get pissed off afterwards. But
right.
but at that moment there, the whole dancing scene, the whole not talking, the accident, and her last
Oh, it's a
breaths,
great scene. It's the
yeah,
scene. In the
her
movie,
last
in my
breaths
opinion.
where he's
You're a fuck up. Yeah.
bro, that
And
was
this is the dark turn that we were
Yes.
talking about
That's the
later
scene-
with him, honestly.
but
like,
it's an upper
That's-
if you look at it the right way.
yeah, but it's also tragic. I remember seeing this in theaters. I did not expect that to happen. I was
Yeah.
I was genuinely shocked. By
Yeah.
this scene
Well,
when I first seen it.
I'm
Like,
dealing
I
with
was,
a lot of people that
I was
have
genuinely shocked.
going through this sort of addiction in a sense,
Sure.
right? So I understand, and that you know what, sometimes it has to hit rock bottom to fucking go anywhere up but up.
Right.
And we find out after the scene that it's taken its dark turn,
Right.
right? With a beautiful fucking song. I still can't get it out of my head, bro.
Yeah.
Makes you just want to dance, doesn't it, Max?
Well, that's the scene. That's the scene I was I'm kind of referring to when I said that, like, when I saw it again with my sister,
Hmm.
that was the scene I was like, holy shit, this movie
Right.
is fucked. Like,
Because you think it's
like,
all fun. on the
yeah, I
surface.
totally forgot. I totally
Well,
placed it out of
dude.
my head the first time. Then I watched it again. I was like, whoa, like I do not remember this.
That
part. It's
same song,
crazy.
when they leave the bar and it tells the couple that they're at the he goes to the bar, right? He's got the basics of love, like I told you, and he's thinking about the basics, right?
Right.
So he's trying to figure out what it means in his head, and then she comes in, and they have this thing. Like, I mean, I remember in the beginning the beginning scene that other one I like. He comes in on his boat when he comes in to see her the first time. She's in fucking like dumbstruck in love with him, bro. He's just chilling, bro. I need to get myself a fucking boat like that and just hang back like this and just cruise around and
Right.
fucking
Right.
like he looked like he was in heaven. He was in his
Right.
own fucking world and
Right.
it was just great. But that scene that I said is probably one of my favorite scenes there.
I agree with you. That was my favorite scene. I have others written down. And I'll throw one out there
Yeah,
too.
go ahead.
But that is my favorite scene as well. Especially rewatching it this time around because I feel like it is such an important scene because we don't really see Moondog acting not like
Emotional,
a
period.
high drunk guy in this film, other than that one scene. And I think it's actually it's actually it's one scene after another. So it starts with the pool part after him seeing Ray
Yeah.
and then making out. Then it's this. Then directly after this scene, the scene I want to mention is there's a scene where then he's sitting there waiting to talk to the guy about the will, and he's watching a video of himself,
Yeah.
And he's younger self.
a younger self before the success. You can tell, or just at the start of the success, and he's cleaned up. And he looks like Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
What
he looks
we
like
know-
he gave this speech
Right,
practically before.
But it's so honestly it's such a good scene because it tells you this guy didn't always used to be like this. Like that's the way I looked at that scene. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, he really has gone off the rails because you're hearing other people talk about it. His lawyer, his agent Lewis,
His agent Lewis probably didn't help.
No, but of course not. Look at
No.
him. I mean, but
Yeah.
like but you know, but he mentions it.
Yeah.
He's like, the phone used to be ringing off the hook. Now you're into you drink and drug, you excess yourself like all the time. You mentioned that like to excess, like
Yeah.
you're out of control.
Yeah.
Like and but you don't really see it. But
No.
that's the only part of the and you don't honestly get like why everyone's like, oh, this guy's a G. You don't get the admiration that this guy has by
Well,
folks.
that's
Like, you get,
the
like,
hard
he's a
thing about
fun
picking
guy.
scenes.
Right. But that scene just gave me so much more information about this guy, this Moondog character, because you see him delivering the line. He even says, he's like, and that is a great poet, or whatever he says. Like
He
that's
says,
great.
you go, guy, or whatever. He's
Yeah,
like complimenting
No,
himself.
but in his video, like itself,
Yeah.
he's like, now that's great literature. Or
Great
something like
literature,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Like he kind of like because he impresses himself in the moment, like saying this poem to
Yeah.
people, and they're watching him.
Yeah.
And then you're right, he's kind of hyping himself up on the other side. Meanwhile, he's just dealt with all this tragedy in his life. And he's literally there trying to get money from his dead wife because he doesn't have any, like in that moment.
Yeah.
Like he's basically there because this is like when they talk about the will and everything else, right?
Oh,
So-
this is the problem with this is like it's broken down into
Right.
certain sections as opposed to scenes, and you have to watch like 3 or 4 scenes in a row where you can understand the one scene.
But those moments that we just talked about, like this 15 minutes of the film or whatever you want to
The
say,
first, yeah.
is the most that the movie doesn't just hit you with some crazy shit, like some funny
right,
scenes.
right.
This is the most you get out of the film,
Yes.
where like he kind of sets all this up in motion.
There's drama.
And then rightly so, after she dies, it goes off the rails again. Like then but then like the rest of the film, like the next 45 minutes,
Mhm.
it's just one ridiculous scene after another, and then you get the end where it kind of wraps back up. But like
Well, we all know originally he's trying to write another book too, right?
no, I know, but
From
there's
the
not
beginning.
there's not
Well,
really
his wife forces him to do that.
if you didn't have these moments though,
No, he was already writing it prior.
Well, he wouldn't get the money.
he wasn't writing it though.
He was trying,
just
but I
writing,
think he
but
was
his-
kind of writer
his-
block.
right.
He was more trying out.
right.
You got to get low before you get high, right?
He couldn't get the money unless he wrote the book, right? Like
Right.
after his.
But
wife
that's after his
passed.
wife died. He'd probably at one point he had money.
He had money, but he
When-
pissed it
after
all
the book,
away.
yeah.
Anyways, how about you, Max? What do you think? His favorite scene?
Well, I mean, before I go into that, I just like because what you just said got me like thinking a lot. Like the whole thing about him going off the rails, I kind of like look at it a little different. I think maybe he kind of just went further into the person he was kind of supposed to be the whole time, because you notice the whole cast of characters are kind of like their own kind of weirdo or whatever. They're kind of like in the same kind of universe he's in, right? And I think the whole point of this movie is kind of like you have to kind of create your own definition and your own terms of happiness. Absolutely. That's exactly what I was going to say. Like
Yeah.
you have to create your own sort of what happiness is, what even success is. Like the Martin Lawrence character says Captain Whack, which I'm put the subtitle for. He says oh, I bought a second boat and then I named it Success.
Yeah.
And then he says he's like, oh, let me drive you to my boat. And he's like, all this I got, all this I have is because of dolphin touring.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
guy is driving the most beat up piece of shit car. He has the most beat up piece of shit boat.
But he was
it-
happy.
In his mind, he's successful. Like
Yeah.
he's made it, right? He's doing what he is
Right.
making him happy.
That's a
And
good point.
and
Yeah.
and like the whole, and I think that's Moondog as well. That's every character in this movie. And like the
Well, if the ending doesn't tell you that, then
that's
I
what
don't
I'm
know.
saying. He
Yeah,
gets
yeah,
all the
yeah,
money
yeah,
that
yeah,
anyone would be more than happy to have. $50
But you
million.
could also throw in the best scene.
And
It's
he-
a good scene at
he-
the end.
He
Yeah.
blows the money up,
Yes.
right? and it doesn't even matter. It doesn't
No.
affect him because that's not what's driving his happiness. It's
And
not.
he has a buttload of money coming right around the corner for his own success. now.
Yeah.
Right. Like
But that's the
Yeah,
thing.
he
It's like
finished the
it's
book.
he
success-
fell ass backwards into like this is like the
It was the
God-
big push to show him. Look, if you don't
Right.
do this,
right.
and you know you can't. She knew by you saying the will that he could do this,
Right.
but he needed to do it on his own terms.
Right.
Right. And you know what? He wanted to prove everybody wrong. That because you know what? Everybody said it's never gonna finish. Bro, while he was eating her pussy, that scene.
That
He's
is
like,
fucking
I'm gonna
hilarious.
finish the book. Don't she's laughing.
And
I'm
He goes,
surprised you didn't say
I'm
that was
re-
your favorite.
no,
scene,
it is,
frankly.
bro. I mean, bro,
That's a
that
great scene. It's a great
I was
And,
that right comes right after the fucking after she's so
Well,
wowed
it's
by
right
him. Yeah.
before- it's right
He's getting
before,
like a
No, he
pedicure
gets
and
there.
shit.
He
Yeah.
gets in, and he's like, "Oh, you gotta wow me." Plays him piano quickly, right? And then all of a
Brilliantly,
sudden,
by the way.
brilliantly,
Yeah,
bro,
brilliantly. Yeah.
and I'm wondering if that's really him playing it, bro.
Of course it is.
It's
bro.
gotta be, man. He's fucking awesome at
You know
everything he
what's
does,
great about
bro.
that? A very subtle joke in that scene. The maid comes out and she's got the PBR on.
Yeah,
like,
on the tray,
Yeah,
on
bro.
the
Oh,
tray,
you
like
could go now.
Servington.
But dude, you
it's like-
can't
That's
be
how
late for
absurd
the
this
wedding.
This movie is totally absurd. It's
Yeah.
a total absurd like.
It's
joke.
a beautiful mess, bro. That's what they
that's
said.
what Spring Break. You gotta rewatch that.
I have to.
Honestly, it's
I
very
have
absurd.
to, and I don't
It's
know
very
how I
absurd.
haven't seen his other movies. Like I've been messing up big time on that, but that's a big hole in my film thing. But no, like even when he's like eating her out and shit, and she's getting like a pedicure
Yeah.
from the actually that by the way, the lady that's doing her nails is not even reacting, like not doing.
Well,
I
that's
know.
hey, bro, when
That's
you're
what I'm
when
saying,
you're
like, this
loaded and
movie-
you can pay somebody that kind of money to just
Yeah.
serve you, yeah.
So this movie's just totally
No, let's not
ridiculous in
forget
the
though
best
that
way.
it cuts to her standing while getting eaten out, smoking a bong.
Bong,
bro.
bro. Like that's like, where did you come from?
She's just holding it like.
And she's loaded. And she's loaded.
Oh my god, bro, dude.
Great, it's great.
Oh my
And
god.
she's loaded, yeah. And she's Isla Fisher, who's also good looking.
Fuck,
Yeah,
man.
She used to be married to Borat.
Is
Poor
they
her.
got they're
They got-
separated?
I believe so.
Oh,
Nice.
I
She's-
believe so.
Nice.
because
But
of
then
this
poor her,
movie,
man.
or-
Like fuck.
Poor her.
Sasha Cohen, lucky guy.
Yeah, I believe they were. I think they're divorced now. They were married for sure, though.
Yeah. Hey, oh wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like go on. Yeah, I mean, yeah, when you get other
So
scenes
my
like that.
favorite scene in the movie by far is the Zac Efron scene. I'm
Are
sorry,
you
like
serious?
I love that.
It's
That's
so
a good scene,
exciting.
yeah.
I
I,
love that.
I love the whole
When
movie.
Zac
I'm just-
Efron enters the picture and then he leaves, that is the best part of the movie for me. Like, and the thing is, when the first time I saw that movie, I didn't even know it was Zac Efron until the very last second when he takes his thing off and even though his sunglasses were off in earlier scenes, I don't know. I just must have
Bro,
been
this guy
a
has the
moron.
wildest beard trim
And a
I've
haircut?
ever
Yeah,
seen.
with the fucking jacket.
I just like shit off. Yeah. Fuck, bro.
And oh my god, when we get to quotes, bro, holy shit, like everything that guy says. And then
It is funny.
it's
It is
so
funny,
fun. And
yeah.
that's the thing, it's like to me, that's probably the funniest, or
Fair.
him and the Martin Lawrence is like almost neck and neck, those scenes.
Yeah.
So, but when Zac Efron comes into the thing, bro, oh my god, I was just laughing. And then when that scene ends, and so they go their ways, and you see Moondog, he's typing on his typewriter, he steals like a fishing rod, I guess, or whatever, and starts fishing or whatever. Like he just does whatever, he moves to the beat of his own drum or whatever that saying is, and then he meets Martin Lawrence and they go on their own adventure. And that's kind of like when I realized, I was like, okay, this is what the movie is. It's just, you're just following this guy living his
Basically,
life,
yeah.
and he's doing whatever he wants to do at any moment. And it's like, and I think like at the end when he gets interviewed or whatever, he kind of explains his sort of philosophy. Everyone, he's basically saying, everyone kind of is like rushing to kind of die or whatever at that, like everyone is racing towards their own red light, I think is what he says. And it's like, he's living life, like you said earlier, I'm here for a good time, not a long time kind of thing. Like that's kind of like what I think the message of the movie is, just like
he even says that. He doesn't say that. He says, "I'm here for a good time." And
Yeah,
he
I'm
doesn't
here
say
for-
not for a long time. He doesn't
Yeah.
say that part.
no, that's
but-
what you said. That's what
No, but he actually does say that he's here for during
I'm
that
here for a
speech
good
at
time.
the end to the reporter
Yeah,
who
yeah.
comes to talk to him. He does say that. Like,
yeah. And the guy's like, how do you do it,
right,
Moondog? How do you
right.
do it? And the
That's
guy's
when he
just like,
says that. He does say that.
and I think that's sort of what and I kind of just said it
That's
like
the message.
5-10 minutes ago, but like
Yeah.
you got to create your own happiness in this world.
Yeah.
You got to live life on your own terms. And I think it's a very beautiful message, honestly. Like, even though there's all this silly shit happening, I think there is a very deep sort of like intention with this movie. Like
I know I said that the movie wasn't that deep earlier,
Yeah.
but I feel like you could take more out of this than is really surface. Like what the surface level point, like the film itself, like where it's just one funny scene
Yeah.
after another. If you do read into it a bit more, there is more there.
If you over,
I
I don't
remember-
think I liked it like that until the second watch.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I literally
I
messaged
agree.
you.
I agree because those scenes didn't hit me the same way that it did.
Yeah.
I was shocked at what happened to his wife, but I feel like on other rewatches, those scenes were more important to the overall story because the first time you watch it, you're just like, this is hilarious. Like,
It's
what
just a
weird
stoner movie in a sense, right?
Yeah.
It feels like a hazy stone marijuana
Which it
fueled
is.
dream, and
Which
that's what it is.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because of that's what it is. I forget what the movie is every time I revisit. I'm
Right.
like, okay, I don't like. I
There's
kind of have
more
to.
it.
You have to like relearn what the movie is like structured. Like it's like you're seeing it for the first time every time I see it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Jay earlier said, I don't know if you said it on the podcast or if you said it off camera. You said that the movie is very inspirational, and yeah, I definitely
Yeah,
get that.
I've
I
said
definitely get that feeling from it for sure.
But there's like, and the problem is, like I said, for the scenes, it's very, dude, it's more of a discussion movie because they really do blend everything together, and it's just like, I mean, you in between all that, you get after before this whole Zac Efron scene, you got a whole thing with where he gets arrested because he decides to after find out that. You know, when he's skateboarding with
takes out his
the
teeth.
homeless guys, yeah. And what do they call it? Toothless Phil, bro. Okay, how did she not laugh during
He
that
tells
scene?
tells
bro?
his daughter.
She might have. They just probably just
tells his
No,
daughter-
I mean her face was,
no, but
and she was trying
they
not
don't
to.
put everything
Yeah.
in film on.
I know they edit right.
Yeah.
Whatever they edit back to him, it's probably her
could've.
laughing her fucking ass off,
Yeah,
bro.
because he's allowed to laugh at that scene because he's laughing about it.
It's his teeth,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
He literally pulled him out.
I love that line, even though I didn't write it in my favorite quotes. I love that line when he tells his daughter, like, honey, when was the last time you laughed? That's important, man. That's important. But also, it's kind of, I feel bad for that character, too, the daughter, because she's like the only straight man of the whole fucking movie. Like, she's like serious and kind
And
of
she
thing.
married a limp dick.
Yeah.
Limp
Bro,
Dick, that's the
the
best
amount
name,
of
bro.
shit that
Hey,
her
Limp Dick.
husband or her partner gets in that whole movie is just comical. It's like, why are they all going after him? And like, and then there's that one scene
He's
when,
boring.
yeah, I mean, like, but like at his wedding, they're gonna tell him that, like, you're
What's
at
your
your
name again? Yeah.
Yeah, they
At
didn't
his
even know
wedding.
his name the
At
whole
his
time.
wedding, bro.
Frank, I think his name is Frank.
No, and then I remember one time I think it's a scene they're on the balcony or whatever, right? Him, the daughter and her husband, and her husband's like kind of like insulting Moondog. He's just
Oh,
like,
it's when he tries to ask for money.
Yeah, yeah,
He's like, get out of here, man.
yeah, his daughter her husband is like holding a glass of milk or some shit, and he's just like, oh, fuck this guy or whatever, like Moondog, and then she's like, her daughter's like, he's brilliant, he's
Yeah,
genius,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
brilliant, you'll never be one, and I'm
yeah.
just like, holy shit, it's like, so why did you marry him? Like, if you're so like,
And then by the end of the film, she's broken up with him.
yeah, and off
Yeah,
camera, like
yeah.
the divorce.
They don't even like give you the closure.
And
on
that's
that
what's
one.
just
They're
like-
oh yeah, he's gone.
That's like where the comedy of this movie comes in. It's
There's a
very
deep talk
well-
in there too. Like when he walks in there and tries to get the money from her too. There's a deep little conversation that they have, you know, and she agrees because she asked the mother before, even at the wedding, you know, if she loved the father and if she was fucking Ray, right? So I mean, there's with that talk, the daughter really after he got sentenced because the judge said a great thing too in the thing when she did talk to him, that scene there with him meeting
I love
the
that
judge,
scene.
right? But I mean, she says to him honestly. Because I mean, they trashed the fucking house, dude. They got back in there. That was awesome
Oh,
when he
the
found out.
bums,
Yeah,
yeah.
when they found that all out. This is all like plays into the same scene, dude. I mean, you think about it when they're talking about the bums, and they go and he jumps into the pool and they start tearing apart the house, and then he finally gets arrested and has to go back to fuck and go. She sentences him to rehab. The judge has a really deep and inspirational talk to him too, as well, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it leads right into that funny part with
How the foolish just gotta end.
Yeah.
Right now.
yeah, out of
And then
somebody's
she
soul.
flips that she's like a fan of his too. It's like, yo, everyone loves
Well,
his writing.
Yeah, there's a
I
certain
actually thought he
dialect
was gonna
between
end
the
up
two of them.
begging her. Like the first time I saw that, I was like, is he gonna like put the charm on the judge? Like, has his charm have no bounds and no
Well, I
limits?
can
Like,
see it,
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
Let's go over to quotes. Transition over to quotes now.
Yeah, so there's a lot
got
of
a
this,
lot of them,
this
bro.
whole movie's got a lot of quotes.
Got a lot of them.
Let me just find out where I am because you want to hit me up with some quotes first, Max,
Sure,
because I
should I
know
go?
you went and
Go
typed
ahead.
out a whole shitload of them.
Yeah, because I was really good.
I've got them all
so
mixed in here.
I'll just do in the order that I wrote them in, whatever. So I said, so Snoop Dogg says lingerie says, you about to go to a place you never been before. That shit don't come with seatbelts.
Oh,
Like right
yeah,
before they're about to
yeah,
smoke the weed,
yeah.
like the mythical fucking weed that
From
grows
Jamaica.
from
Yeah,
Jamaica.
yeah.
And then this is one from what is it, Jonah Hills? Lewis? Is that his character's name? I've been waiting for ages and I ain't getting no pages, sweet tits.
Can I hit you with the Lewis one?
Yeah,
Hold on,
please,
hey,
please. I love them.
hey. You was a revolutionary writer. You was a radical.
But he says I'm lucky I'm well hung. Eh? During that whole sign, he's like, I'm lucky I'm well hung.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have pissed away your talent on women and booze at total excess.
Okay, another Lewis one. Call my motherfucking chiropractor because my back's gonna be fucked up tomorrow.
When he's in the strip club, yeah. And then after that he writes, hold on, I had that written down too. I had that one down too. And then when he says, well, where does he say? Yeah. He says, and then he hangs up on him. He's like, this motherfucker hung up on me. My God.
Bro, he's talking to himself for like 20 minutes bro.
Okay, this is my favorite one of all of Jonah Hill's lines.
Go
This is
ahead.
my favorite one. So it's when he's fucking eating the ice cream at the
Yeah.
end of the movie. He's like, you have
And he's like, cool. He's like right in his face.
like they're about to make out or some shit. He says, you up for a motherfucking Pulitzer?
Yeah.
Then he licks the ice cream. Pulitzer. He says in the most like erotic way you can say Pulitzer.
That in that same scene. He's like, my phone was dead. I held a funeral for that motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's back to
He's
life.
talking to-
It is resurrected.
Oh my god, I love that shit. So, do you have any, G? Because I feel like I'm gonna say them all right now.
Well, yeah, I have it. I'm just gonna read the quotes I have randomly, but I got the Ray one with the "Welcome to NASA Command Center" of Mary Jane when he introduces her to the Chronic. I have
I'm glad you found him just as entertaining as I did this watch. It's
No.
great.
dude.
It's so
No one was calling. My phone was dead. It is resurrected.
Tell the motherfucking funeral for my phone. You got one, Jay?
Oh
Because
fuck!
I can keep firing them.
This shit don't come. This shit don't come with a seatbelt. There's a
Yeah.
whole bunch, man. I got.
Yeah.
He already busted that one out.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, so the judge says your choice, prison or rehab, and then Moondog is like, is there a third option? And
What?
then
Go on.
go ahead.
I got one day I'll swallow the world, and when I do, I hope you all perish in it.
Who said that?
He says that when he's talking.
Moondog?
Yeah, Moondog
Oh.
says that one, right?
So,
you all perish violently. That was one of his little quotes there, right?
Okay.
Lines.
So another Snoop Dogg quote when he gives him like the mythical wit, he's like, "You gonna be writing some shit? I'm talking about poems right out your motherfucking asshole." and then okay, some Captain Whack quotes. Oh my god, because this is so funny. I said
I
it
have
earlier.
one written down. By
Yeah,
him,
go
too,
ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I wrote down the one he wrote. I only had 4 deaths on my watch.
Yeah, I got that written down.
Only 4? He's like 4 deaths in 8 years of dolphin touring. It's a terrific
How the
record.
fuck do you have a death on a dolphin tour, bro?
And he's like, now I've been stripped of my now I have been stripped of my license temporarily on 5 separate occasions, but each time I get it reinstated due to a technicality that I never quite understood. He's like, I'm blessed up, bro.
He said, I said this one earlier, but I bought a second boat, named it Success.
Yeah.
You say
And then-
your Captain Whack one. Do your best one where he says, "Shit, now I gotta feed my fucking coke addicted parrot."
Yeah, I got that written one too.
Oh.
I wouldn't be able to live like this if it weren't for dolphin tours. He's just like bragging about his life. Do you have any more Captain Whack ones, either of you?
No, I don't got
No,
no
I don't
Captain
know.
Whack.
So then I'll save the Moondog ones for the last. This one, some Flicker, Zac Efron. Do you have any of his quotes?
No.
Okay, first time I saw this movie, this was the scene. This is the line that really stuck in my head because I just thought it was so funny when Zac Efron was like, "We can do whatever the fuck we want. Jesus has already paid for our
Oh,
sins and
dude,
shit."
that was hilarious.
Yeah, I was crying. I was like, "Oh my god!" But then watching this one just now, I was like, "Okay." The whole monologue when he's like talking about why he's in rehab,
Yeah.
he's like, I was
tiger, bro.
He's like, I was breaking into people's house and just burning shit. Nothing real bad. I love lighting shit on fire.
I'm a tiger, bro. Say,
Yeah, I'm a tiger. It wasn't dangerous. Nobody was home. We didn't find out the kids were upstairs until later. And if I wasn't there, they would have been burned to death. I got them out.
But then
I'm
Matthew
like, bro,
McConaughey asks him, "What with a ladder?"
With
Well,
a ladder?
He goes,
He's
"I just went up the stairs."
No, I just went up the stairs.
Of course, we have to mention. I mean, the classic line in this film is when he's like, "You know, my home is down here with all the burnouts. I'm a bottom feeder. You got to get low to get high." Right?
Bro, that line sticked out to me for a long time.
Literally, if you click on this movie, if you look up it has that quote, like you got to get low to get high, on the actual. I don't know if it's like on streaming or whatever. Like I seen it when I Googled it. It says that line when you go to the structure of this movie, right? So like that's a big one about this.
It could be a hashtag. You
By the
gotta
way,
get low to get high.
I didn't write this quote, but it's not really that scene with Zac Efron where they're like, I know where to get money, and they fucking crack the glass bottle over the dude's head.
Yeah.
They take his money, and then Zach is like giving him a little bit, like, oh, he's gonna need some when he wakes up.
And then they go like a party with
And Matthew's like, no.
Matthew's like, no, this ain't church or something.
This ain't church. Take this shit, bro.
So
Dude.
I got two last quotes from Moondog. I gotta end it on obviously the beach bum himself.
Sure.
So he says, when he talks to the reporter, this was from this. He says, this life gig's a fucking rodeo. I'm gonna suck the nectar out and fucking raw dog until the wheels come off. And then the very last one I have written down, it's just so funny. When he talks to his money,
Lewis,
not his agent, the financial guy,
the will guy,
the will guy,
the lawyer,
and he's telling him that he wants all his money in cash.
Yeah,
and the guy's like, he's like, what, you want it all in cash? Like, that's crazy.
Yacht and everything.
He's like, I don't want you to put a penny in the bank. I don't trust those Illuminati motherfuckers. I love that.
Or
Oh my
his
God.
daughter goes to visit him in prison, and he's like, "What are you, a Republican?
Republican or whatever?" Yeah, dude. He threw that line in
He's
there.
like,
I was
"What,
like,
Dad? I
perfect
don't know."
time.
Yeah, he's just like, "I don't know."
Whatever.
Oh my God. So
No, but
very quotable.
here's
Oh
one of my
my
favorite
God.
Moondog lines.
Because you obviously know that's not a very Republican
I
move,
know,
bro.
but that's why it was so funny. He didn't even know where he was going with it. It's just like, what? He's like, I don't know.
I just threw this out
Yeah.
there. We're all getting high.
This is my favorite fucking Moondog quote is one of them anyways, is when he's remember when he goes and he's trying to take shit after like they won't give him anything out of the will, so it's like he puts on rugs and he's like doing all this stuff. So now the police are escorting him out, so he's like, keep the pool hot to the pool guy.
That was
he's
the
like,
best,
he's like,
bro.
I put it at 120 degrees for you. He's like, that's what I'm talking about. Keep it right there, baby, and add the chlorine. When I come back, we're gonna have a gangbang. I'll invite your mother. Why the hell did he say
Bro,
that?
and the guy says, "Thank you,
He's
Mr. Moondog."
Thank you, Mr. Moondog. Like, I'll invite your mother. What the fuck? We're gonna have a gangbang. I'll invite your mother. I was just like,
Yeah.
what?
But instead, he shows up with all the homeless people, bro. I was dying.
But the best part of that about that though is I'll invite your mother. I'm like, why would you even throw that?
Bro,
in?
I have
And the guy's
no
like, "Oh, yeah,
idea.
yes, thank you, Mr. Moondog.
Because he's trying to tell him where he left the stash from because the cops,
He's
you
like,
know.
the
the last
I put the
spot.
sticky icky in the same spot I was put it last time, but I can't tell it around these guys.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
gonna smoke it on you.
You know, there's bigger. What does he say to the cop? There's bigger crimes going on out there.
Oh, he's totally fucking with them. Like,
Oh,
he doesn't
yeah.
like them. Like he's like, hey, you see those books right there? I wrote them. I know you guys don't look like big readers though.
Pop
bro.
one of them, man.
Here you go. This was for you.
I think it's to the movies.
This was
like,
for you, Alvarez.
yeah.
I think it's to the movies like benefit that there are more like unserious characters than there are serious ones.
Absolutely.
Like there might be like 4 serious, like his
Yeah.
daughter, the judge, and those 2 cops, and that's it.
you need those people for them to play off.
To
of.
play off of, yeah. But everyone else is totally like into the whatever Moondog is putting out there. Like they're totally into
Anything
it.
else, Jay?
The Moondog says, yeah, to the Snoop Dogg's guards. Remember when he goes up to Snoop Dogg's boat there, and there's just guys with the guns. You know, I mean, that could have really been Snoop Dogg's boat, and somebody was just sitting there chilled out, bro. I still believe that was like his
the
boat.
Rasta van. He's like, hold up, the
No,
Rasta van.
No, but that's
Not-
after. But
he's
they walked up.
blind, the
No, 'cause
blind pilot.
he had walked
Like,
up.
all I need
I
is
think when he walked up and they're holding the guns and this is already after he's
Safe
left and he
and
wanted
sound.
some
I
money.
don't fuck around.
Yeah.
All I need is the ganja, a little bit of shroom tea,
Some cocoa.
and some Bogota
No.
coca.
Bro, this one reminded me
And
of
I'll
fucking
get you where you got to go. I don't know if that's the line. I'm just fucking around now.
no, but yeah, because
Safe and
he's
sound. I don't fuck around.
90% blind, bro.
Bro, could you imagine that as a writer, you're just typing and shit, and you got your own personal like steel drum guy that's just like chilling around and stuff? Like,
The best part about that is he just hangs out
He's just
after.
hanging
like,
out.
and he's always smoking a joint. That's like
Massive,
big.
bro.
yeah, bro, like holy shit,
It's like
dude.
that big. We can't do it as much better now with the circles that we have.
Yeah, bro. It had to be the size of the microphone for fuck's sake.
Oh, okay, what about that scene when they're like him and Snoop are like comparing having sex with Minnie and shit, and
He goes
he's
too
like,
far with it. He's like, "All right, man. Yeah, I
he's
got
like,
you."
he's like,
Yeah,
he's like,
he
he's
did.
like-
He
he's
went
like,
too
Matthew's
far,
like,
bro.
Snoop went too far.
Moondog's like, you know what, man? I loved her tiny hands,
Yeah.
man. It made my cock look so
He's
big.
like, "Not my."
Yeah. Then Snoop is like, well, you
Yeah.
couldn't see what it looked like with my dick in her hand or some shit.
And he's like, "Man, she was such a freak. She used to do this thing."
Yeah,
And he's like,
you-
"Okay, man, I get it.
you
That's
look right
enough
into her
now.
eyes
Yeah,
and
that's
shit.
enough,
Yeah, that's it.
enough."
We know because he wanted to know if he
You know,
loved her.
even
He wanted to
Moondog-
know the
even
whole time,
Moondog
bro.
has boundaries, bro. For real.
But he was asking the whole time, bro. You know, did she love me? Of course, she did. Snoop, even though he's telling her he's banging her,
she loved the shit out of you, man.
she loved the shit out of you, man.
All right, so is that it for
Well,
quotes
Jonah
then,
Hill,
or
too.
anything else, Jay? I think we fucking
Motherfucking
run the gamut.
Pulitzer.
I think I feel like it.
Oh, I have one here. This is when Minnie's talking to her daughter about Ray. On your third
It's a deep
birthday
one.
party, Ray brought the pony in, and he blew out my candles. Exactly. Well, he was stoned.
Oh my god, that's yo. Actually, you know what's so funny? It's like this is how high and how drunk Moondog had to have been
Right.
to
Not notice.
to
what
not
was going
notice that
on,
what
yeah.
was going on, because he had to actually physically see them make out to know
Well, the
what.
best part was when he's on the phone with her. He's like,
Yes.
"Oh, Ray just stopped."
Yeah, Ray
by.
just by. He's like,
Hey,
and,
what's up,
then
Blair?"
Yeah.
lingerie,
He's already
lingerie.
been there for 20 minutes, or who knows? what.
Lingerie's like, hey, play, I just came to drop off your wife some roses and keep it pushing. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how did he not like
just
see-
randomly in the background. Yeah, I know.
How the fuck is he not like taking note? But you know what? At the same time, like, what does he expect
I
his
know.
wife to do if
I know.
he's just leaving her for like
Oh,
years or
and,
whatever?
and he's doing his own thing too.
Yeah, so
right?
it's like,
Minnie had a will, motherfucker. That's weird. that's Moondog. He's like, motherfucker, that's weird.
That's
And
weird.
he's like, fuck you, Minnie.
yeah,
No, I love
no,
Chris.
he's like,
I
I
love
love
you,
you,
I
but
love
fuck
you.
you.
Fuck you
But
as
fuck,
well.
fuck you as well. Yeah.
That whole scene when he's talking to the Will guy, and it's just cutting to them on different parts of the boat. Like first they're on the
That's-
side, then they're in the. It's like
This whole
It's so
movie,
funny.
that's
I got
the
my own-
problem.
I
It
got-
jumps so around, man.
I have
so
all my
funny.
accents mixed up now. We've been talking about too many different like.
Oh,
Okay.
that's what I mean. It jumps around so much, so it's hard to do quotes and stuff like
you-
that because you could just generally talk about
I
the
honestly-
whole movie
It's
yo,
for
a
2
fun
hours.
film, as you can tell, guys. It's
it
a
is
fun
really
movie.
fun.
Yeah.
All these characters are like my kids because I can't decide which one I love more. Like, is it Zach? Is it Jonah? Is it
They're
fucking?
like my kid.
They're like
On-
my kids.
Dude, I can't tell. Like, I honestly like. Okay, who's your favorite side character in this movie? If you had to pick one, because I
Oh,
can't do
bro.
it.
So the first time I watched it, straight up, Captain Whack.
Captain
For
Whack,
sure.
yeah.
That whole scene of his getting his foot bit off by a shark and thinking it's a dolphin. I left the theater like that was the most hilarious thing. for
Yeah.
me. But
Oh my god.
This time around,
But he is a comedian too, so
Yeah,
it's easy for
yeah,
him to
it
come
was
up
funny.
like that.
I was also impressed by Zach Efron.
Yeah.
Okay, this time though, Jonah 100%.
Jonah's
Jonah
so
is the
fucking
he
good,
is
bro.
just cooking like just like
But I-
ridiculous, such a put on stupid
they-
accent. Like yeah,
When they start grabbing each other's nuts,
Bro, and they
and
start,
he's like, "Oh
but-
yeah,
but
San
No, but
Francisco
see,
stand
that's
up."
why you could tell it's so improvised.
haven't
You could
felt
see him
like this-
laughing.
I
in
haven't
that
felt
scene.
it inside me
Yeah.
in so long.
Yeah.
He's grabbing his
But you
nuts.
can tell
And
he
then Moondog
totally
grabs
just
back.
did that, and he's trying not to laugh. Like Jonah's laughing when he's doing that. Like
Yeah.
it's so ridiculous.
God, I love this.
And
movie.
grabs him back. Yeah.
That's the most improvisation I think that was out of the whole film
Yeah.
was their scenes. Their scenes, you could just tell. They're just
Yeah.
like he's just like, okay, Jonah, say a bunch of because Jonah's used to that. He's from the Apatow school of like doing
Right.
movies, So he does that. Like
Mhm.
I'm just gonna come on there and say 7 stupid lines. You pick the best one. I'm just gonna cook over here, and you're gonna edit it in together. That's why the way it was edited, you could tell. Man. It was just hilarious.
They were just quick one-liners that were put into a
That's what he
story.
does. Jonah does that. That's what all those guys like. Seth
But that's
Rogen,
all
those
improv.
guys.
That's all improvisation.
All those guys do that.
And
They
yeah,
come
like
from
you said,
improvisation.
guaranteed this whole fucking movie was improvised, and they just decided to splice
I
it
think
together. Which
some
way?
of it was improvised.
There was
There's
still a
obvious-
storyline they had to play with. right?
Yeah.
I think like certain scenes when like he was meeting up with these guys, the cameos, those were improvised. Like I think they had the guidelines of like this is point A and this is point B of what's going to get us through this scene. But I feel like the lines that they were throwing out there when him and Moondog and the other guys are just chilling,
Yeah.
like and just like saying stuff or
Yeah.
smoking, those were all improvised.
Well,
I feel. I don't know for a fact.
I
but
mean,
it feels
like
it.
I still feel like with the way they do it is they give him a general
right.
you know, like a script, let's say.
If this was written,
And then
good
they
on
could
them
use
because it doesn't
improvise.
feel like
You
it
could-
is.
no.
It feels very natural.
No, but I don't mean
It's very
script in
natural.
that way. I mean a generalized script.
They have like an
but
outline.
to say yeah,
that they're working
outline
on.
basically,
That's
like
like
kind of
Curb
like
Your
what we do
Enthusiasm.
here.
You
The
know,
Curb Your
I was
Enthusiasm.
just thinking of that, and I, for the life of me,
That's what
can't
Curb is
understand how they made Curb like that.
That's
show.
how it is, though.
No, but I can't picture it because
Yeah.
it's so good.
Right.
Like it feels like good
But
writing.
that's how they write Curb. I've heard
Yeah.
him talk
It's
about
all
it in
improvised.
interviews many times. They have a basic plot. Okay, Jeff is coming into the scene. This is what he's trying to convey in this scene. Okay, go ahead. Like, yeah, this is what's supposed to happen at the end of the scene.
Mm.
Somebody's gonna show up. Okay, go ahead. And
They
then
just
they
shoot
just
the
and then they just go back and forth. Like
That's
that's what.
it's very impressive.
Yeah, it
because
is.
it's
It
it's
is.
crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So
They
yeah.
they do. They go back and forth too much, and then they like you were saying, it's just a generalized script, and you're allowed to improvise with everything that they do, and that's what they did throughout the film, right?
Right.
So I mean, it's hard to even because they jump so much in between things, and the cutting and pasting is just great. I mean, I don't even know if I had a favorite quote at all, period, in this movie because every line is a quote. Bro.
Yeah, facts.
really. At the end of the day, every line in this movie is a quote. It's all one big scene full of quotes.
Well, I think the best one is still they got to go low to get high. I mean,
But
that
that's
like
the
kinda,
number
like,
one in the whole scene.
yes.
That's actually depicting his life in this movie.
If I feel like you needed to pick a quote to best represent this film, it's
Yeah,
that.
of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that character.
Yeah.
Like that's it. But I mean, in terms of funniness, like the Jonah stuff for me was like, I agree with it. Like what you
So
were saying, that was great. Every Jonah scene for me was great in this one. But like, yeah.
but yeah, he
Well,
wasn't
it's,
like that's why he wasn't the craziest in it. I
Some
I
fucking
was
dude.
with you. I was with to the Zac Efron too. I was with that part
Okay.
because Zac Efron is just he was funny with that whole like you didn't expect that from him. I didn't expect any.
I
of that.
forgot Jonah was in this movie though. And then when I rewatched it this time around, I was like, oh yeah, Jonah's in this movie.
But
Surprised nobody got nominated for any Oscars, bro. That's how you know the Academy Awards is full of shit, bro. Like,
well,
fuck the Oscars, bro.
I think I already said it. But the unique question that I had for this fucking movie was, did you think it was all sort of? I mean, she obviously had her life sort of planned out in a way she wanted to, right? But do you think that question was put there specifically?
the fact that they said that she knew she was going to die before he did.
Yeah, and that
yeah.
she specifically said that you're a fuck up for a reason to get him motivated.
No, I think you're reading into it too much.
No, I don't think so. I think because that's what actually got him to motivate. Because he still had that's what had to make him go around and ask if she loved him because he wasn't sure 100%.
If they turned around and they said there was some other part of the story where she was sick and he didn't know, then I could see that happening. Like why she would kill herself. Maybe she had cancer. That was never.
No, but
part-
in the will, it said that he was never gonna finish it. She knew that.
No, but
so,
I just don't know what her motivation would be. Like you said, it was almost like a fate type of thing. Like she saw her demise at some point coming before he
his,
did.
yeah.
Right. But I don't think it was purposeful. Why would she kill her? That's ridiculous.
No. I don't mean to kill herself. I mean the way she set up the will, purpose. Like, was it purposeful? Like
Oh,
for him
absolutely.
to push him forward.
Of
and give
course
him-
it was.
But
That's
as she
why
died, her last word was "You're a fuck up." She did say
it was to motivate him.
it was to
Yeah,
push him instead
yeah.
of "I love you." It was to say that's why he was
Because-
asking questions throughout the movie
Because I
about
feel like
if she loved him.
I think that she somewhat lost sight. He lost sight of himself.
Yeah,
That's what that scene meant when he was watching himself
Mm.
and who he used to. That's what I think it was. He lost sight of himself. He went too
deep
low.
into well, he went too low and he didn't want to get high anymore.
Right.
Because look, when he came back home, he goes, "I forgot how rich we were."
Yeah. He yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then
Right.
I think he just lost sight of himself.
Yeah.
Which it is honestly something that happens to a lot of people. It happens to people in marriage,
Mhm.
happens to people in life.
Yeah.
Right? Like you just go down a certain path and then you forget about the person you were
Mm.
or the person you were trying to be or aspire
that-
to be.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You take that. You
I
get. You
think
can get
that's
too
what-
low. Yeah,
I think that's what that was. Yeah.
but you can get too
absolutely.
low and enjoy yourself.
sure.
at the same time.
But you lose, but you get
But
lost.
you're
in the
also getting
sauce,
money,
right?
getting
Like that's what it is.
that
like,
whole time money was he had money like because it was either from his wife when
Right.
he was out
it's from his
partying
wife.
and that.
It's
Yeah.
absolutely from
But
his wife.
afterwards, after that turning point, you know what I mean? He had to go and fend for himself. He didn't really have any
Yeah,
other
fend for
choice.
himself, yeah.
But he already knew, and you think in her mind to put it in escrow like that,
Right.
she knew that he had it in him to survive
Well, that's
the
why the
street.
daughter even knew what was up.
Because she said,
and
"You're
what time
basically
it
a
was,
beat.
and
You're
the daughter
basically a
turned
bum."
him away too.
Yeah, you're basically a bum.
Yes.
The lawyer says you're basically a bum,
Right.
right? So I mean, so he knew that he could survive through that. Now that's why I feel like it was that she did see, like you said, that she did see herself dying before him. Maybe not that tragically, right?
Right.
But that's the kind of way their love was.
No,
bro.
but
It
they
was a
also
tragic
said that
love.
she was worried that he was just going to piss all her money away
her
now
money.
that she was dead.
Yeah.
And
Because he
kinda
already pissed his
dies at
part
the
away,
end of the
yeah.
movie. I mean, he goes up on.
But
his
he
blades.
also makes a good point with that, and if I'm not right by saying, by saying that by burning that money is he makes a good point by understanding that you don't need to have money to be happy as well either, because he was living a good life.
Yeah.
He enjoyed his life the way he was living.
Some
that
people
style.
think that you're free if you don't have that kind of like holding you
Yeah.
Burden.
down.
Look how many
Yeah.
people were there, man.
It's
Like
not
and
the only
around.
metric of success, but like
Right?
I don't know, the society kind of like pushes you into thinking that's the only way you can be successful is if you're very
Right.
wealthy or whatever. And it's just like, no, like there are other ways to live, you know.
A couple questions I kind of threw
Many
out
ways to
there
live.
for the film was like, listen, Moondog is pretty jacked despite his lifestyle stuff. This movie.
Considering he's been fucking apparently he's been drinking over a
He's
10-year
still
span.
He's pretty yoked.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you don't drink beer like this guy does, and you don't have a beer belly. Like
No,
he's pretty jacked.
I mean, but you're also he's banging chicks in the back of a burger fucking thing,
He's
bro. Like,
also,
come on, dude. He's
always-
fucking
always-
slapping
he's
her with
always
a
on the
patty.
move, too. He's
Yeah.
walking around.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
another thing too. Yeah, he's always
he's not
walking.
on his ass.
I'd say there's
looking-
only two people that could live this lifestyle apparently and look like that, and one is Matthew McConaughey in this movie, and the other is Mick Jagger. Like, let's be honest. No, Mick Jagger is still like
For his age,
yes,
80 years old,
yeah.
it's a different story. Yeah,
And he's like that's the only guy that's gone through the abuse.
What
he
about
has and still looks all right.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
What about Joe Rogan?
but he hasn't put himself through
doesn't
abuse.
drink to
Oh,
excess,
Joe
no.
Rogan drinks like a fish on his show. He
No.
drinks whiskey and
No,
beer and like whatever.
no,
the
that's
fuck.
nothing. No,
Really?
he's
He's-
not.
that'll put sugar.
He's also
in
a
your
health
body.
nut though, like as well.
That's what I'm
right?
saying. But like he does a good amount of drinking too, you know.
Not to this point.
Not to that.
no, yeah.
This is like a drinking
enough.
every day. This is you're an alcoholic. You
I could
go to
swear
I mean,
every
he literally went to
episode
a
this guy-
meeting and says they're full of
every
shit.
interview this guy does, he's pouring himself a drink.
Maybe
like-
I'm wrong. I don't know. I
They
mean,
went to a 12-step
it's
and
not
he's
Bert
literally
Kreischer though. Like, you
No,
know what I
oh
mean?
my
Like,
God.
yeah, like so.
no, yeah, he's not that. But
Bert
no,
Kreischer.
they
So- No, I was gonna say, and then that's my like question. Oh yeah, I guess the other one I have here is a hot take and things I would change. How about you? Any questions that you want to throw out there?
Questions? Was this guy actually a bum? Like this guy has his own maid and his own nice place, and his wife is a
To
multi-millionaire.
some,
for the first part of the movie. The second part of the movie, no, bro.
He's not like a
But he's
real.
gone back to the life.
no, I would disagree. It's the second part of the movie he becomes a bum, not the first.
Yeah,
part.
that's it. So that's what I was
No,
just
you
saying.
said the opposite.
He has a
No.
maid. He has a. Was she Asian or Latina that she's made that he's
Yeah,
banging
yeah,
like or whatever? Like
He never bangs her.
Not
It
at- no.
they probably got something on off
Probably,
off the
yeah.
in the.
It's always flirty.
What did he
He's al-
say? He's like, "Oh, now that I got money, now you want to be with me or something," like to his maid.
Yeah, they all. That's why he
Even
says
his
all that.
place,
Part.
even his own apartment or whatever. That's a nice place.
He lives
Like-
on a boat. What are you talking? It's a boathouse.
It's a boathouse
Yeah.
like that. Like that got the 2 stories.
No,
When he goes-
that's his wife's house.
No,
He lives on the boat.
No. When he's living in the Keys, remember he opens up the fridge and he brings his head. in
That's
the-
his boat.
That's a
It's a
boat.
boat,
Yeah,
bro, yeah.
Okay, because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
got 2 stories. There's like
Yeah,
a swindling
well,
swear.
Yeah, it's his boat.
Even
It's a
that
park,
looks
but that's a
nice.
park boat, bro.
Even though that boat or whatever
It's a
is
boathouse.
very nice.
Yeah.
It's very nice. And then he doesn't have 2 more boats on top of
But
that.
again,
Like,
he's married to his wife, and he also had money. Now he doesn't, though. He's living off of his wife. That's the thing. You don't. The lawyer even says that. Like he's like,
In the beginning, he was living with money, bro, because his wife
Right.
was still alive.
right.
In the second
As
part of it, he
soon
had
as
no
he
money
dies, he's going to ask the daughter for money. He
Yeah.
doesn't
because
have
he
money.
blew all his money
Yeah.
away, bro. Everything that he made
But
from the
even-
first
even
That's
book.
why Jonah Hill's giving him a hard time.
The whole
because
movie.
it's like,
even with no money, I'm just saying his place of dwelling, like his house, looks
right,
very
but that's-
comfortable.
of course.
It looks very nice, you know?
That's something he's bought.
That's not poverty,
Yeah.
bro.
But he had that a lot of that stuff he had from prior. Yeah, when he was with the wife, but he was able to get back to it because if he made his way down to the Keys, he was able to survive. You know, so that's why as a homeless
Also,
person down there,
Did he take the money out to purposely burn it? Like he just didn't want it?
Yeah.
So then just give
I
it
think
to his
so.
daughter, bro. What the fuck? Like,
no, because she wouldn't give him money. So you know
Kind of
what?
ridiculous.
No, I mean, you know what?
or give it to fucking charity or something. Like, what's the point of just burning it? I don't know.
I mean, he took some out. We don't know. We know we did take. He didn't put it all in there because I think there was a question.
Give it
There's
a
something I want to
fucking-
ask you too. But when he drives the boat off in the end, right when he's back on his thing and he's just chilled back on his own little
Is there
moondog
money in the
boat,
boat?
I feel like he's got his head back and he's leaning on a couple of
Racks,
cash because
racks.
he told him to take a little bit out,
I
and
don't,
not put
I
the
don't
whole.
trust those Illuminati.
Yeah,
motherfuckers.
he kept a little bit for himself to keep because bro, he just wants his habits to keep going, bro. I don't think ultimately this cleaned him up. I just ultimately think
Oh, he has no interest.
Bro,
in
there's
sobering.
46 million in that boat.
50
bro,
million.
so he doesn't care. It's not about the money. He likes the lifestyle. He likes to do this whole walking around thing. You know, I know I call it inspirational, but it is inspirational as meaning as a not as a you better learn from this in a sense of
Right.
because you're gonna learn how to
No.
stop drinking and doing drugs, but you gotta take it more to heart, right?
Right.
Like it means like you don't need
Uh,
everything to be happy. I mean,
I just look at it like there's more than
shows that
one,
the actors-
there's more than one way to live a life. You
but
know?
that's what I
It's
mean. It
like,
shows
you
that
know, there's not-
actors.
there's not
Maybe he's
everyone-
trying to prove it as an actor to people out there. Realize
Everyone
that,
has
listen,
their
we guys, we
own
can enjoy it.
way of life, you know. And so
We
let
can
me
still live this style.
let me ask you this, Jay. Since you want to be the beach bum so badly, 50 million in a boat. Are you burning it?
Why not? I don't give a
Shut the
fuck.
fuck
I don't have
up. No,
50
you're not,
bro. I don't have 50
No, you're
million
not.
right now, bro.
No, 50 million in a boat. You have 50 million in a boat.
Bro,
Are you
there's
burning
40
it?
million. He took some out. He bought a boat, but then he took some out.
Okay,
for himself.
40 million. Are
I
you
just-
burning it? Are you
bro,
burning it?
I don't care.
You're burning the
bro.
cash?
Right now.
You are so
I'm not.
full of shit.
Bro, I have
He's so
nobody to
full
give
of
it to.
shit,
I
bro.
have nobody to give it to. All I'm gonna do
So you're
is
gonna set it on
kill
fire?
myself, bro. I'm gonna party hard,
What?
bro. I'm gonna party hard. You know, I'm gonna. Why not? You only live once, bro.
Oh my god.
I mean, I can
mean, burn,
enjoy
when
some
I mean
of it,
burn
bro.
it, I don't mean spend it all. I mean like.
But if I
actually
wanted to
set
live
it
this
ablaze.
lifestyle, if I wanted to stay and live this lifestyle after and not clean up and not whatever, yeah, why not?
You'd set it on fire.
Yeah.
Oh,
If I
you are-
want to go back
this
to
guy
that,
is such a
so
liar.
if I want to do something with my life, with that, then it's different. If I learned something in that aspect, he didn't end up changing at all. He ended up just going back to
doesn't wanna
doing his
change.
no. Okay, but if you take it as a changing lesson, yeah, okay, you're gonna save the 50 million. Yeah, I would save it if I wanted to take it as. But if I wanted to continue to be the guy afterwards,
Right.
he literally just did it to prove a point. He didn't give a fuck
Yeah.
because he knew what he was. He knew that he was a fucking
Right.
good person. That look, Zach
Well-
Efron told him he had it right here.
You got
Wow.
God
He had
on
the
your
light right
shoulders.
here.
Well, hold on. Off of what you just said there, I'm gonna go to let's move on to hot takes here.
Go ahead, Nico.
And this is actually pretty evident. I feel like
Put
once
the graphic in there.
yeah.
Where's the
No, you want the graphic?
Why not, bro? Nico's hot takes.
Why not? It's been a while. It's been a
Start-
while since if
Let him cook.
I can actually pull it up.
Let him cook.
Oh man, I don't know where it is.
What's your hot take?
My hot take is kind of like, despite his like whole like demeanor about being like, like hippie-ish, like peace and love, like, kind of like
Yeah.
demeanor that he kind of has throughout this film, like kind of just go with the flow type of guy, stoner dude. He's kind of a dick, like continuously through the movie. And it's actually said at one point, like that he's an asshole. They're like, yeah, he's an asshole, but he's also like, you know what I mean? Like a smart guy or whatever like that. He's a genius, but he's kind of a dick. He's actually an asshole. Like,
Yeah.
and
He's chauvinistic.
and it's no
Selfish.
more. It's never so much, never so apparent than it is in after his wife dies.
Yeah.
After his wife dies,
He has, like,
he's
no
very
remorse.
bitter. He's very bitter for the
At the
first
world.
little bit. Yeah. But like you could tell, like the way he's acting when he's talking to people, when he's being kicked out of her house and he's trying to take stuff, when he's broke, the way he talks to the lawyer when he finds out about the will, the way like he shouts at the heavens, he's like, "Oh, I love you, but fuck you too." Like, you know what I mean? Like it was definitely a turn for the attitude that we see of this character, and then it kind of never returns back to that
Yeah.
throughout the movie. But like there's a certain period of time, Like even when he hits a guy with the tuba into the water, like that was a dick move. Like he's kind of like, and like even like when his wife comes to see him in the bar and he says that thing about, oh, it's their anniversary, and she's fake about it. She's like, oh, happy anniversary. Like, listen, stop being fake with these people. He says something along the lines of that. These
Don't be
people,
fake to strangers.
yeah. Like he's kind of like also a rich, at times elitist kind of like attitude, sort of. Even though he's like so like hippy dippy, like, oh, look at me, like
he's
I
not
wear
a
dresses and I'm high and drunk and like I just
he's not like a real. That's the thing that I think I kind of mentioned it like with my question, like, was he really a bum? He's not like a real bohemian. He chooses to live this lifestyle. It's not like he's forced to.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
But that's
the
the thing. Like he's clearly.
It's like a rich guy coming from
smart,
yeah.
But he just chooses to do this. Like you're right, he puts himself this whole idea, this ideology of I got to get low to get high. I got to live with the bottom feeders.
Yeah.
He likes.
Yeah, it
I feel like it
art.
inspires him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. So, but he's an asshole. He is an asshole.
You know
That's
what's
what I
so
mean.
funny?
Like,
but they say usually geniuses. This is the way.
No,
they
it's
are.
facts.
They're eccentric.
Yeah,
It's
very.
facts. There's also the scene when he plays the piano. It's kind of like showing there's a side to him that, like, you know,
or the video
more
scene.
to him.
Again, I go back to it, but he is kind of an asshole
There's
throughout
more
the
to
movie.
The problem too with the people that are that genius, they also like to look at other people like they're fucking idiots.
There's more to him.
But he
than
doesn't
meets the eye.
treat people like that for the most of the film.
But he does a
certain...
passive aggressive sort of talk.
Yes.
Hey,
he's
Nico.
passive aggressive. Mr. Passive Aggressive over here.
Don't even get me started over here.
So I don't know if you got this because this whole story is just reminding me of a thing I know. Do you guys know the comedian Eric Andre?
Of course.
Yeah. So this guy, okay, I love him, but this guy, when he moved to New York,
is he what I think he is too? Shut up.
Just leave it alone, Jay. Please. Oh my god. You got to do some editing. You got to do some snip by the way earlier in the footage. Yeah, and yes, he is. So he is. So Eric Andre, when he moved to New York and he was gonna start doing like stand-up comedy or whatever, he had an apartment, but he felt like in order to fuel his art,
he lived homeless.
He basically forced himself to be homeless. And I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like he's not homeless.
You'd have to almost.
He's like, I need to be in the bottom because that's where the
He
creativity.
would sleep on benches. Yeah, I know.
He's like, that's where the struggle is. That's where it's like a forced struggle to flower creativity.
Right.
Well, that's the kind of they show it in this movie, bro. In a sense,
what this is, you know, like
that's the whole thing.
Sleeping underneath the fucking bridge, bro.
Get high.
He's sleeping underneath the bridge, quoting off fucking quotes.
Which has to be like a misconception, I feel. Like you can't be a rich guy living a comfortable life to make good art.
But he lives in a very nice place where you can do that.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
and people can sleep on the beach down there, and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
The Miami, so
like
Miami, Florida
Bro,
has to
passing out underneath like bridges on like those fucking woods.
Has to be the absolute best place to be a homeless person.
Absolutely.
If you're homeless,
absolutely,
like you have to be in Florida. Like,
But that's why the landlords love it. Probably they could kick you out like it's nothing.
Go to fucking Alaska and be homeless. Like try that.
You could come here, man, and try it. Be homeless 6 months out of the year.
Oh my god.
Fuck, man.
Dude, oh my god, that's horrible.
You know,
it's not the same thing.
You got to be in the Florida Keys, bro. You have to. Yeah, there's the Panhandle down there for a reason.
What's the next?
Next one is Jay here has things he would change. No, things you would change if he had to change.
Not a goddamn frame.
I can't think of it.
I have one.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Nico.
I think the second half of the film, as I mentioned earlier in this discussion, would have benefited from some other good scenes like we had in the first half of like, you know, more self-reflective scenes with the character of like between the death and like the moments where he broke out of Moondog, the character, and kind of went back to like just,
what do you define as the second half after his wife dies?
Yes,
because that's my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah,
but I think they could have used one more deep scene in the second half.
I see, more drama.
Balance it. Because the second half goes off the rails to a very fun degree. Don't get me wrong, but there's just no serious moments in the second half.
Well, he needs to revisit. They should have had him maybe revisit his daughter to say, "I told you I'm back," but I'm not
just
changed.
one more scene, like that was like a more serious scene, like we got with him in the pool, like we got with him being hurt by his wife, like we got with his wife dying and him like having to deal with that. Like I think like once you get past that point, it just goes to like a point where it's just like, okay, let's have fun now. And like, no, but which is
Yeah.
fine. It's a very fun movie, but like, I just wish they had one more serious scene where he kind of,
Yeah.
it was more of like
They
a
basically
personal
just went-
moment.
It left it open to
Yes,
interpretation. It
yeah.
left the whole fucking movie open at the end.
And really, if you just look at it in one way, you're just gonna see, okay, it's a fucking wacky Zac Efron scene, and then Captain Whack shows up, and then like you're like, what
Wacky
is this?
Captain
Right,
Whack
right, which was
Yeah.
listen, I had a hell of a time watching it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't come back. It does come back around when he talks to the reporter.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, but I wish there was just one more self-reflective moment for the character prior to that in the second half. In between the Zac Efron and the Captain Wax scene, if there was like one scene where he's like, "Wow, I'm out of control" or something,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like,
I don't
not
think that's
that
him, though.
necessarily, not
Yeah.
that necessarily, but like something where he was just like, you know what I mean? Like, but more like it was like a more serious scene that he could have used it.
Absolutely.
That's it. That's the only thing I would change about
that's
it.
a fair critique, but
Yeah.
I feel like that one drama scene I probably hit so much harder because it is the only dramatic scene in the movie. Like,
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
really the center of gravity of that whole movie.
But put it later in the movie. Then.
yeah,
Don't put it like the first half an hour of the movie, and then we have an hour of just nonsense.
Absolutely.
right?
But the hour of
But, you know,
nonsense
I
was
was gonna
fun
say-
too.
I
bro.
like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm just saying, like, just balance it a little bit better.
I was gonna say, like,
Lighting the
one
fire.
thing I really do like about this movie is that everyone that pops up, and they're all fun characters, the amount of time that they're in is perfect. It's not, they don't overstay
Yes.
their welcome.
Yes.
You know, like
yes,
Zac
yes.
Efron comes in at 3-4 minutes, boom, and that's
You're
that's
right.
all I need.
You're right.
And then he goes into the Martin Lawrence 3-4-5 minutes, boom, that's all I need. And then the whole like the Ross the pilot, like
That's a
everything
good
is
point.
very
That's a
balanced
very
and it's
good
very
point.
delicate.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like you're getting a little taste of everything, and it's just
Yeah, and then the
it's-
main
it's like a
characters, you're
well-
getting a great balance too as well.
Yeah.
it's
Right?
just like
Between the three of them.
it's just a well-rounded experience. Like, this is what the movie is like, an experience. It's a well-rounded experience for me, and it's like, if you want to see, like, I think this is actually a big reason why Jay is watching this movie over and over again. Is like the
Like I
experience
said, very
is
rewatchable.
very
rewatchable.
rewatchable because the experience is so like inviting and
Yeah.
warm, and it's just like every time it's just like hanging out. It's like a
You want to
hangout.
spend time with.
You want to
these
spend time with
characters.
these guys. It's a hangout movie, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and that's what's
Yeah, it's like
so
Once
awesome.
Upon a Time in Hollywood. in a way.
Yes,
Yeah, that's I feel
absolutely.
the same way about that movie.
But-
You just want to hang out with those
Yeah.
characters.
And
yeah.
by-
But even more toned down. Because
Oh,
once upon
absolutely.
a time, there are moments like where you're talking about where that movie tries to be serious
Yes.
and that movie tries to inject.
But that's Tarantino.
That's Tarantino, yeah. But this is so like, all balls to the wall.
Unfortunately,
restraints.
he can't get it out of his own way when it comes to that kind of stuff.
What are you talking about? Harmony?
Tarantino.
Tarantino? Yeah.
That's what I think
Yeah.
like, about him in the sense that, like, even when he tries to do something like that, he has to insert part of himself or part of his like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like ideology about stuff or
Mhm.
the way he looks at things in the film. Like,
And I
unfortunately.
really do like that reporter scene. That
or
the,
fortunately, not unfortunately, but that's just what his stick.
you
right?
spend what is it, like an hour and 25 minutes with Moondog, and you're just like, this
Yeah.
guy's just doing random shit. There's no explanation, and then he finally kind of explains where he's coming from, and to me, that's like a really, really like interesting scene because
Yeah.
it's just kind of just describing like, okay, this is who I am. I'm not gonna change. Like I'm. This is who I am. But when the movie starts, this is how I am when the movie ends, and like the whole thing is like when he burns the whole money down and stuff. It's like you can tell like he's gonna be all right in the end. Like
Yeah.
nothing is gonna change him. Like nothing's gonna affect him. But I'll say this: when you talk about serious scenes, there are parts of the movie through the other characters' eyes, you kind of get a little bit of a seriousness. So in that scene when they're in the courtroom and it shows his daughter's face, you can tell
She's
his like the
disappointed in him.
disappointment, and it's like
There's
she's
a
like,
lot of that. Yeah.
yeah, there's like a flash to that.
But
It's
any
like
of his
she-
friends too that he knows through the thing.
she is not buying any of his shit.
Even Lewis is disappointed in him.
And-
He's like, he used to be like, so like, you know, he used to be like, well, he's just pissed because he's not getting paid as much anymore.
It's been ages and I ain't getting no pages. Right? I love God bless Jonah Hill, but but that scene when they're showing that like the daughter in the scene and in the courtroom, and she's just like she's speechless and she has this look on his face, and it's just like you kind of just have to think about it, like what kind of childhood did she have with these two crazy people as her parents and stuff like that, and then, like it trickles
Well, it's
down.
and Snoop says, "Welcome to the family." These people.
yeah,
are
this is a fucked up
Get
family,
ready.
and so
You know.
there are like hints of seriousness, even though it's in a comedy.
But she
scene.
somehow seems pretty well adjusted somehow. Like it's the boyfriend that's not the,
Yeah.
or the husband that's not like.
But she's
No,
probably
she's got some common sense.
She's got her own issues because like why is she even marrying this guy? If
No, but
there's
she had
no,
some
like,
deep
love
talks
there,
with
you
her
know?
mom too. She did. They had some
There's-
deep talks, right? So I mean, they had their own
Yeah.
little thing. So I mean, I think she picked up a lot of the
But
smartness
even
from her
in
mom.
that moment, she's having a deep talk with her mother. She's smoking a joint at her wedding. Like it's
Bro,
really,
or at the wedding, at the funeral, at the funeral.
yeah. It's just
They're
it's
passing the joint
it's
around while
not a
she's dying.
scene
You know
that
what's
you
so-
see all the time. is
in
what
a
I'm saying,
movie,
yeah.
in a
There's
movie,
not a lot of stuff
in
scenes like
in the
this. you see.
context of a movie, you watch this and you go, "Wow, these are the greatest parents ever." But then over a lifetime, that could be very tiring. Like you just be like,
Absolutely.
"These parents are not for
You
you."
don't
They
think there's people that live that lifestyle?
Of
where
course
there's-
they do.
Absolutely,
Of
rich.
course they
Not
do.
even just rich people, but there's people that'll do that too when it comes to a funeral.
But
They'll
I
just
think
smoke and
that's more
pass a joint
reflective
around.
of them being rich, like in this movie.
Yeah, they
you
like
know,
neglected
yeah,
children,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like, and it's just like you
They
could
brought
tell-
him into their party lifestyle. That's what they did. They literally that she had to grow up probably being their fucking parents.
I really do love that, like that frame, that shot of her in the courtroom, and she's like the judge. It's like
Yeah.
him and Moondog, and the judge and the Moondog are having this back and forth, and you just see that one shot of her of his
Yes.
daughter, and she's just like not buying any of his shit, his
Right.
bullshit. She's so tired of it, and so yeah, that's like that's like that one little. It's like a second, but that's like a serious second. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So it is
Yeah,
kind of
that's a good
like
point.
sprinkled.
As soon as
you
you
know?
brought it up, I was like, oh yeah, that was a good scene.
so.
Jay, why don't you hit us up though? Did you have anything written down for the legacy of this film for you?
What I left behind.
I have nothing for this, by the way.
It's too young. It's too young of a film.
But I could see where they're going with the legacy, maybe trying to leave a legacy behind because it is a timeless movie. This can be for anybody. This can be for any generation. I don't know if
Absolutely,
20 years from now they're gonna want to watch something as fucked up as this.
I think they
But
will.
if they're still got comedies around and they still got good stuff and they know about these actors that are probably gonna be gone in 20
How
years.
sad is that? We're talking about if they still have comedies around.
But
20
hey,
years.
I'm being honest with you, bro.
I get where you're coming from.
I'm not talking about full. I'm talking about your low budget fucking movies.
They're very non-existent
No,
right now.
they're putting them more into television. I told you, it's
know.
all going that way.
We've
It's
had
just
this
streaming. Yeah.
conversation
So,
before.
I mean-
know. We've had this conversation on this show before. I know.
Unless you go and you purchase this somewhere, or you can somehow.
We talked about it with Rush Hour. You're not seeing Rush Hour 4 anytime soon. We don't know what's going on.
or
with
even
that.
like what is the modern iteration of that?
right,
Like you know,
right.
Don't even get me started with what we can add as a modern iteration for that. But okay, so
whatever
know-
that means.
yeah, you know where that means. It's there. But yeah, the
Jonah
legacy,
Hill?
the legacy is that you know what, you don't need you don't.
My phone has been resurrected.
Fuck you all, man. This Nico's fucking phone's
Been ages, and I
his
get no
phone, his fucking phone never dies. It doesn't have to
Dude,
resurrect. It's always
I could talk
erect.
like Jonah Hill's character for a whole week
I don't have
and
to
just have
call
the
a
most fun.
motherfucking chiropractor tomorrow.
This guy just wants to just keep practicing that accent, bro. That's the one you got to start using for the fucking for shows now.
Yeah,
Just start coming out like
this
that.
is who I am now.
No,
like-
that's use that as your persona. That fucking KFC fucking. You sound like Colonel Sanders there when you start talking like that, bro.
A special blend of herbs
He
and
looks like
spices.
See, that's why he looks like a young Colonel Sanders.
Yeah.
Jonah Hill,
Bro.
like, it's like
He's
a southern.
yeah,
southern
he's-
gentleman or whatever, you
Yeah,
know,
he's
like-
basically
Southern hospitality. What do you call it?
He's seen his boy in Django Unchained, Leo, and he's
Oh.
like, I'm gonna go even crazier with
Yeah,
it
yeah.
now.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Whack
fucking
cake.
yeah. Oh, but
Anyways, so
No.
that's the legacy of the
no,
film.
the legacy is gonna leave that. You know what? You can get whatever you want from the. You can take what you want. You don't have to have it all to have it all. And that's
Yeah.
what I think I can take. with this.
I think you're good. I think you made a good point. The message of this film would be the legacy of this film.
Well, it's also, trying to get somebody to clean up for the right reasons. But ultimately, when you're told that you're always going to be a bum, you know what? He knows he's not a bum. He's a genius. He can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants. But he chooses to live like this. And, just to prove to him, to everybody else, you can live this lifestyle
right.
or not and still enjoy
find
yourself.
your way and still find happiness. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think
Until you get caught.
I'm with you. I think the messaging is,
And it says, until you get caught.
Is if anything, if there's any takeaway from this film that will grow, like you said, it's only like what 6 years old now at this point. I think it, or yeah, 5. If there's any legacy about this film that will be left behind, it will probably be the message, if anything, that you can take from this film. I agree with you. That being said, I also think like you could say like again,
It's just-
McConaughey. I think this is just like it,
it was meant for him. The whole thing.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I think McConaughey's legacy in terms of this fantastic run that he had, where he basically came back. Honestly, one of the biggest. That was one of my other hot takes I forgot to mention. This is actually one of the best comebacks in terms of like a mid-career
Crisis.
Yeah, where he was just almost like gone. I feel like in terms of like he's a great actor, but he's not being recognized.
And
as
he's
one
not being
anymore.
himself. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, just between the roles he picked and the stuff that he was
Yeah, he
doing, all of
couldn't
a
miss.
sudden, yeah,
For a full decade,
Right,
you couldn't miss.
right from the whole 2010 onwards. Just I'll pull up the IMDb as you guys talk,
Yeah.
but he just one hit after another, as far as I'm concerned. Like,
Yeah.
just great films he was in. So like, I think the legacy of this movie is him, because this is the tail end of that run for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I would have to say about that. How about you? You have anything or no?
So legacy, I think this is a movie made from a filmmaker that people actually like. Maybe not mainstream, but people do care about Harmony Korine.
Sure.
So it is part, like, his whole filmography will be a legacy, and because The Beach Bum is part of that, I think it will live on in that sense. I think it is a little too young to have a legacy, or maybe I don't think it made the big splash impact that it deserved to. Not for the film's fault. I just think for whatever reason, because it is a good film, it is a great film. I just don't think it just hit with audiences, or like hit in a big way, that
Mainstream,
in a
yeah.
mainstream way, which I think it easily could have. You have Matthew McConaughey, like you said, A-list actor in a very hot time of his career. You
Right.
have Snoop Dogg. Everyone loves Snoop. You have all these great actors: Zac Efron, Isla Fisher, Jonah Hill. Like, these guys are all superstars. So it to me, it just, for whatever reason, it's almost like sometimes success is almost down to luck, almost. And I just don't think this movie, in that sense, was lucky when it came out. But I think it was a very well-made film, and for that reason, the art will live on. And
That's a good.
this
point,
is a movie
yeah.
that, like, maybe it'll be a deep cut to people in the future, but it'll be a deep ut worth, like, hey, you gotta check out Beach Bum. Like, you're
Right.
gonna love it. And for people who like this type of stuff, they're gonna have a blast. Like, I knew Jay would like this type of movie. Like, I knew he would have loved this type of movie. This is like,
Bro.
for people who like these types of movies, it's so, like, up their alley.
So I just want to point out. No, well said though. I
Yeah,
just want to
thank
point
you.
out though. Look, listen to Matthew McConaughey. 2003's in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, leaning on the poster. Okay, 2005.
I love that movie, by the way.
And
That
listen,
might be my favorite
I'm not
Matthew
It's
saying
McConaughey.
these are
fucking funny,
bad-
bro.
These are
I
not
love-
bad.
It is
movies.
funny. Yeah.
Can I
Yeah.
just say one thing about that whole rom-com McConaughey era?
It's a good era. I'm just saying.
Like,
It's-
even if maybe the movies weren't good, McConaughey was always great in them. Like,
Okay.
he always came to play. I just want to,
I agree.
defend them
I
like
agree. I agree.
especially How to Lose a. If any of those, okay, two of them. How to Lose a Guy in 10
Failure
Days.
to Launch.
No, I hate Failure
He's
to
also
Launch.
leading on that.
No, the two that I like, the two.
Ghost of Girlfriend's
That's the
Past.
other
Yeah,
one.
that's my jam.
That's the other one. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and Ghost of Girlfriend's Past.
Ghost of Girlfriend's
I'll
Past.
defend.
It was 2009,
Nine.
just before he
just pivoted.
turned it around. Okay.
He actually had an interview where he said, like, yo, I've been doing all these rom-coms. I need to do something different.
Yes.
So he himself recognized he needed
That's what
to
I'm
change.
saying. But don't forget, in between all this, in 2005, he was in Two for the Money with our boy Al Pacino. I'm gambling again.
I haven't seen that. Is that worth checking out?
It's fine.
Is that like a great Pacino? Like, yeah?
It's
I mean, Pacino's, what am I saying? Pacino's great at everything. What the fuck am I saying?
That's the whole line from it that they always make fun of. The rewatchable.
I'm gambling
I'm
again.
gambling again.
I haven't seen it.
No, you gotta watch it.
I gotta see it.
I just watched it for the first time this past year. It's not bad. Anyways, but look at these movies though. Okay, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Classic.
Also, he's in this movie Tiptoes with Little People. Have you ever heard
Not
about
seen-
this?
not seen
Oh
that.
my god, look it up. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say that for that. Two for the Money, Failure to Launch,
I didn't
Fool's
like it.
Gold,
I haven't seen that one.
Ghost of Girlfriend's Past.
Classic.
Okay, so these are movies in this period. Okay,
Right.
then all of a sudden, 2011, Lincoln Lawyer.
I have not seen it.
You've never seen
Never
Lincoln
seen
Lawyer? Oh, you got.
And they made a TV show about it
Yeah,
now, right?
that's a good movie.
Yeah.
Mud.
I love Mud.
Mud's
I
great.
love Mud. Have you
Magic-
seen Mud?
No.
Oh, you got to
You've
see
never
Mud.
seen Mud?
This guy, that's your boy.
Oh.
By the way, Matthew McConaughey and me have the same
Again,
birthday.
on a
so-
beach the whole time. Mud.
Yeah, Mud is great.
It's a great movie. Magic Mike. Okay, whatever.
Not seen it.
Whatever. I haven't seen either.
I haven't seen any of them.
Dallas Buyers Club, Wolf of Wall
That's
Street.
the one. Okay, Dallas Buyers Club is the one he won the Oscar
Yes,
for.
yes.
And that's the one I could give less of a fuck about.
He's
Let me be
great
honest.
in that movie.
He's good in that movie, but the movie is just like it's like one, and you watch it once, and you don't ever care
Sure,
to watch
it's
it
a
ever
good
again.
movie though.
No,
I'm
it's,
just saying.
yeah,
Wolf of Wall
it's
Street.
an Oscar bait.
True Detective.
Wolf of Wall Street
True
classic.
Detective.
True Detective classic.
Right. Interstellar. Okay.
That's good. That's good.
What do you mean?
Like, it's not my favorite Nolan, but yeah, it's good. He's
No,
good
it's
in
not the greatest.
Right.
It is. He's right.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
No,
It's a little overrated, I
It's
think.
a little overrated.
No, you don't.
Thank you,
No,
thank you.
You
Finally,
guys are wrong. You just don't understand the movie. I'm
Well,
sorry to
well,
say.
maybe you have to.
there was an astronaut in the bookshelf.
Yeah. You just don't.
Yeah.
understand.
No, maybe. What the fuck is going on? You got all kinds of fucking hissing
It's
already.
because you talk shit about the movie.
Yeah. It's fucking
your
the
fault.
astronaut in the book in Nico's comic
and then
bookshelf.
the
is
gentleman.
fucking-
Yeah, it's all your fault.
By the way, the gentleman. I think did the gentleman come after?
Huh?
It's the same year
Huh?
as the Beach Bum, but it did come after the Beach Bum.
Same year.
Same.
No, same year, but like was it released after
Yes.
the Beach Bum?
Yes.
So the gentleman, I actually checked earlier. That's the last time I heard of McConaughey in a movie. Like, what has he made since that? Besides the Sing movies, right? The Sing animation, like
You were not wrong.
he's been gone, bro. He's off the
Yeah.
reservation, bro.
Yeah.
Like he's
Well, it's because he's about to run for
President,
yeah, he's supposed to governor of Texas.
Is he actually? Oh,
There's
okay.
talk.
Best of luck to him.
There's talk.
I hope
I
so.
could definitely see him being a leader like that, but
Anyways, so there you go. So
but that's the thing
quite
is
a run. Quite a run.
that's the thing was like
Amazing run.
this is what the Beach Bum to me feels like what his career has been building up to this entire point. It's almost like the perfect capstone to his career because this is like the character that everyone thought McConaughey kind of was, or maybe he himself perpetrated out there, and it's like the ultimate form of that. Like I think I heard someone write this in Letterboxd, the review. This is final form McConaughey.
Yeah.
That's totally what this is. Like it really is what it is.
Yeah.
So if he just finished his career on that, like it would have been perfect. Gentleman, he's good. McConaughey is good in every movie, whether I like it or not. He's good in every movie. The Gentleman, I didn't really love that movie, but
I did.
I don't know. I'm
I
not.
thought it was great.
No,
but
I'm
you're
not-
not big on Guy.
Yeah, you know, yeah. You got a great memory, bro. Like I'm
You're
not. I'm
big
not.
on Guy.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, he
Nico, don't
remembers-
Nico's book is like absorbs
He's crazy.
stuff.
He's crazy. Yeah, I'm
right?
not
I
the
don't know
biggest
what
guy
the fuck
Richie guy.
happened with this mic all of a sudden.
I'm not the biggest guy.
But yeah, no. There you go. You know how you were saying if you couldn't figure out if anybody else, you know who was offered this role too? It said Gary Oldman was offered this.
Gary
role
Oldman, that would have been interesting.
Well, he's
before
played
Matthew
a character
McConaughey.
like this.
Yeah, before he played.
too.
Now, yeah,
Yeah.
True Romance, or what are
Yeah.
you talking about? Is that what you're talking about?
yeah.
Okay, this is so not like this is not.
No, that's Brad Pitt in True Romance that plays a stoner.
Yeah, but True Romance, he plays the drug dealer with the dreads and shit. Like
Yes.
he's kind of like
Yeah.
he killed it. By the way,
Well,
as that.
Gary Oldman can transform into anything
Anybody.
He ever
He's-
wants
he's
to.
so
Yeah,
he's so
I
talented.
could see him doing it.
But by the way, not to say that I would like him to play the Moondog or whatever, but I would love if Harmony Korine made a movie with this guy, just because I think it would be the most ridiculous, funnest thing ever. I want Harmony Korine to make a movie with Chet Hanks, bro. That would be amazing, bro. Like I would be so happy if that happened. Like,
Look,
you
I
know
found
Chet
out
Hanks?
that-
You know Chet Hanks?
Huh?
Tom Hanks' son.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
doing
yeah,
like
yeah.
the
He's my
Jamaican
rapper.
accent.
He's my rapper. It's what was that summer song? What the
doing
fuck
the
is it?
Jamaican
Yeah,
accent and stuff
yeah.
like
White Boy
that.
Summer.
White Boy Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's
I-
doing like
I'm
random
tripping
Jamaican
out.
accents and stuff. Oh
Yeah.
my god, bro.
Patois.
The
Yeah,
patois.
Yeah.
No,
That needs to happen ASAP.
Yeah.
it's so like we're gonna probably go into the fucking movies to pair with, but I've only got really one I can think of, maybe one or two, like you
All right.
said, right? And we said
Start
that
us off.
we kind of mentioned in the beginning, but Days of Confused for sure I'd pair with,
Yeah.
because I feel like this
That's-
is just like
Yeah, I
Like
was thinking that
an
one too.
older version, like after you fall, because they were young and teenagers in that movie, so I mean it was a little bit different. But yeah, this is something you can pair with it. Maybe watch it before and then watch this, and then watch it before you watch this one, in a sense, just so you can get that fucking feel for it, right? The gradual, where I kind of feel that they compare well with each other in the sense that
Yeah.
they're the same type of thing. Everything starts off like that in high school, and then this is what could happen when you start getting money and becoming real life, right? Like, and everything else gets involved. So, really, I mean, something else I can't think of really any. I was trying to think of something else crazy to pair with. I thought of like that kids movie, but I don't even know if that would do something. It would even do it justice.
Kids?
Bro,
Oh,
no.
oh, you mean kid? Yeah.
Yeah, like
It's-
something totally different. Because it's just, I was thinking now that you said it's because it's the same actor, the same director too, right? But honestly, at the end of the day, I don't know what else I could.
Well,
pair.
I don't think he directed that.
He
movie.
wrote it.
Yeah.
He might be able to put like a Snoop Dogg fucking the one where he's on the fucking airplane. What's that movie called?
Soul Plane.
Soul
Oh,
Plane.
no,
No,
that would be funny. Actually,
some
yeah, I can
corniness.
see that. I can
Yeah,
see
I'm
that.
telling you, man. Like,
That's another ridiculous movie.
you know,
like-
another corny Martin.
Yeah.
Anything that has like a.
That's like peak ridiculous
Peak
movies.
ridiculous.
But I
right
mean,
there.
like even Martin Lawrence has these peak ridiculous fucking things too, right?
I love Martin Lawrence so much.
So at the end of the day, I mean, you compare it with anything that's kind of just low budget comedy where they're just kind of improvising things with. I don't know any other movies that I could think of at the top of my head that are like that. So, well, I mean, I can think about you. I don't know what else you would have.
Oh, I
to
got
pair
some
with.
good pairings.
Yeah, I
Go
don't-
ahead,
yeah,
Nico.
you could probably think of a lot more movies I haven't watched.
Obviously, the aforementioned Spring Breakers, I think, is going to pair really
Oh,
well
yeah,
with this
Spring
one because it's
Breakers.
from the same period of time. Well, this was the movie that he did prior to this, and there's a lot of themes I feel like that carry over into this film from Spring Breakers
Right
as
on.
well.
I really
around
need
this
to
period of
rewatch that
time.
one.
Yeah, I really like that movie. So, absolutely, I think that's good for a double feature for this. Also, Big Lebowski,
Yeah,
perfect double feature
definitely.
because like he's a stoner in that too. The
the
dude, in terms of like just the way that he's the unsuspecting kind of protagonist of like getting thrown into like a mystery of sorts in that movie. Like it's a different obviously story, but I feel like the type of way he approaches his life is very similar to the character Moondog in this, like in terms of like the way he just goes through everyday life. I think it's very similar. So I would say Big Lebowski, and also Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yes,
Fear and Loathing in Las
absolutely. That
Vegas,
was
I
one of
think
my
would be a
favorites.
perfect movie to pair with this.
Maybe in the
one.
middle.
Oh yeah, it's
It's
a lot.
so
'Cause
Fear and
a
Loathing.
lot of absurdist moments in that movie as well.
Also
They're
about a
stoned the whole
writer.
time. Exactly. Also about a writer
Who ju-
that's trying to
Who's
like,
only
write an
concerned with getting
article.
his next high, you know, like
Exactly. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think that's my other one I wanted to pair with this one. Yeah, those are my picks for pairings for this movie.
so
Any stoner movie, really.
So Days and any stoner movie,
Yeah.
absolutely, like any stoner movie you can think of, any hangout movie, like Dazed and Confused and all that stuff too. You guys said a couple that I had thought of. One that I think is like appropriate because of just I you know the thing is though, I feel like this movie is so unique, and I think that's the biggest compliment I
absolutely.
could give it.
Yeah.
Really, is its uniqueness. It's so different. So like any of these pairings, maybe like similar and maybe vibe, but nowhere near
No.
what this is. Like you can't like there's nothing like this movie to me. That's
No.
how I feel about it. But maybe if you were looking for a movie that's just a wild ride, Project X
Okay.
with a house party, that where
word.
they're just like you don't care about like with that Project X, that's like
That's a good pick.
that's like
good
you don't
pick.
really care about these characters. You're just there for the party.
That's
like
right.
you're just there for the
right.
craziest time.
Yeah.
Here maybe you do care for the characters for each one. But another pick, this is like no, this is really outside the box because what this movie really kind of reminded me of in a weird way because of just how it's structured is Grand Theft Auto, the
Okay.
video game.
Yeah.
Because like Grand Theft Auto, you're this character, you're in this city, and then you meet this crazy character, and you do this side mission, and then you meet this other
Vice
Kid-
City.
Vice
absolutely.
City,
Yeah.
or even Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
Like that Trevor character or
Yeah.
whatever is kind of maybe like the homeless one
Okay,
looking
so you're
one.
pairing with a video game.
So yeah, like
Yeah,
maybe you watch this game and you
Yeah.
play an hour of Grand Theft Auto
Right.
afterwards. Like
Right.
it's just
I
felt
like
very
it. No, I like
this
it. I
felt
like it.
very like GTA. Like this there's even a scene in this movie where he tries to escape the cops. Like the cops are after him and he's trying to escape and stuff. But just the whole wacky world and
Yeah.
wacky characters that just is so Grand Theft Auto to me.
Right.
And like
I like that. I like
characters getting into like dirty work kind of thing.
that. I
So
like that.
so yeah, those were two up there.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, I like that. That's a first for the show. A video game pairing.
Yeah,
yeah.
So,
Is there a wine pairing you're gonna bust out next time? I think
a
you
nice
need-
Cabernet, aged 5 years. No, oh no, the Cali Red, the Snoop Dogg
Oh,
wine.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what you
yeah,
gotta
the
pair.
19 crimes
Yeah,
or is it
19 crimes. Yeah,
yeah.
that's what
for
you gotta
sure,
pair
yeah.
it with this. Yeah,
There you go.
and then maybe some hemp beer, like some fucking.
I like it. I like it. All right. So what we have left here? Movies we've been watching lately, and movies we're looking forward to watching. Right, Jay?
Yeah, I haven't watched anything crazy this last little bit. I haven't had a chance since the last one we had. I've been watching more TV stuff because it's been now coming out, right? So I haven't really been paying attention to movies, to be honest with you, this time around. So I mean, movies I'd like to watch, like I said, I still want to watch that what's it called, the priest one, sorry, the conclave and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
there's a lot
Nico
of
was
those.
talking about that.
There's a few. I think there's another few that I wanted to see. Like it's already reminded me. This is in the oh fuck.
Show the camera what you just.
Yeah. They don't need to know my where I get my streaming stuff from. So,
Megalopolis.
Yeah. But they have a bunch. They have a lot of stuff too coming. Like you said, there's got Gladiator 2, right? That would be
Gladiator
something
2
that I
for
want to
sure.
watch and check out. I still haven't had a chance to watch Venom, right? So I don't know. Other than that, I'm just waiting to see what comes next with movies. Actually, you know what? I'm corny. I want to see the one with the Rock there, and the polar bear.
Oh, that shit.
I don't know. I
really?
just want to have a
What is
good
that movie
laugh,
called?
bro.
With the-
Red one.
Who's the other actor in that movie?
Chris
Channing
Evans.
Tatum. Chris Evans? Is
yeah.
Channing Tatum
Chris
in that movie?
Evans.
Or
No,
no. Chris Evans. Okay.
yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah, miss me with that, with that bullshit.
Nico keeps seeing that preview every time he
No
goes to the
thanks.
fucking every time he goes to the movie theaters.
So
Well, we saw that preview when we went to the movie theaters.
Yeah.
When we saw Deadpool and Wolverine.
so things that I've watched recently.
Oh,
I actually talked about it on late night
I don't
chat.
remember if I said it
What?
last time.
What's that?
Like I said, I think we talked about it last time because we were in the middle of Halloween. But I ended up finishing Scream 2. I didn't say. I said I
The second Scream?
yeah, because I
Or
watched
Smile
it-
2.
Sorry, Smile 2.
Yeah,
sorry.
because I see it.
Yeah. Right.
I have still
said
yet
I
to
was
see that.
wanted to watch it. That
I
one
wanna see that.
I finished watching. That was a little bit fucked up too.
I
but
liked it. I liked it.
That was
I want to see that movie
Yeah, it's
really
good.
badly,
It's
actually.
good. It's good. It's very entertaining.
The trailer looked really good.
So yeah, things I've watched. I actually talked about this on late night chat. That's what I'm remembering. I didn't get a chance to talk about it on our last episode of Late Night the Movies because it was right before Halloween. But yeah, I watched Conclave. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Great performances in it. Then I watched this movie that's on Netflix. It's What's Inside. It was okay. It was kind of like a horror kind of thriller type of movie. Interesting premise to it. I thought the execution of it was all right, but like, you know, in terms of like a rating, I give it like a 3 out of 5 stars. It was fine. I think it could have been a little bit better, but it was an interesting idea for a movie. I'll say that. Then I watched the newest. This is something we talked about on movies I wanted to watch on the last episode. The new Anna Kendrick movie that she directed, Woman of the Hour.
Oh yeah. How was it?
It was really good. I thought she was really good in it. It was her first
It's a
film that
drama?
she's directed. Yeah, it's a drama. It's about a serial killer that actually went on the dating game back in the day. This is an actual real thing that happened in real life. Like a serial killer went on the dating game show and was accepted as a contestant on it. And it turned out he was a serial killer. And if you actually watch the movie without going too much into it, it actually breaks down the stats of how many people he had killed, like women around that time, just because he was like, I guess, a good looking guy that brought people unsuspectedly, like, you know, into his, life and was able to, kill them. Like a lot of these guys were back then, like the good looking guys that would just like lure women into their lives. Right.
She directed it.
She directed it.
Did she write it too?
No, I think it's based on a book. I think she
I see.
adapted it. I don't think she was the writer. I'm just looking it up right now. But this was her directorial debut. From
Okay,
what I
good for her.
understand.
I
Yeah,
like
so
Anna.
it's actually I like Anna Kendrick too, and it's pretty good. So I don't know if she wrote it, but I'm pretty sure no, she didn't write it. No. Oh yeah, it's based on Ian McDonald wrote it, who I believe is an author. I think that might be the author, or maybe he just wrote a couple of screenplays here for films, it looks like. But anyways, I watched My Old Ass.
With Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah,
How was that?
not good. Not
good?
good. I
Okay.
mean, Aubrey Plaza.
I love
Aubrey
her.
Plaza. So do I.
I love her.
And she's been on quite a bit of a role this year between Megalopolis and she's
Oh,
been
yeah.
on Agatha all along. She's great. I like her
What
a
was
lot.
that shit?
I think,
Emily the Criminal.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that was awesome.
Yeah, she's great. She's barely in this movie though. They
Really?
obviously advertised her with her being in it. She's in it a bit, but it's a stupid premise for a film, and it's just not good.
Right,
I don't suggest
It's a comedy though, right?
sort of
No?
comedy / drama. I would
Okay,
say
okay.
kind of more comedy, I guess. Yeah.
So it's not like the Jennifer Lawrence, like No Hard Feeling. It's not like that type of.
no,
Okay.
it's not preachy in any way. Like it's basically she like she like oh no, not
Like
sorry.
a comedy,
I was-
like
I
a sex comedy.
no,
That's what I thought it might have been.
no
like.
hard feelings. Sorry, I was thinking of another movie when I said preachy. No, it's not like that.
No.
It's basically about a girl that she gets. It's actually in Canada. The whole movie. It takes place. She's like a Muskoka. Yeah. she does a bunch of shrooms and she sees her future self, who is Aubrey Plaza, and then her future self.
That sounds kind of interesting.
It sounds interesting, but the execution of it is
Okay,
bad. It's
fair
really stupid. I didn't like it.
Okay,
anyways.
okay. Interesting.
But the other day, I just watched in theaters a couple days ago, Heretic with Hugh Grant.
Okay. Is that a horror film?
Horror film.
Okay.
A24. It's got a religious aspect to it as
Interesting,
well.
okay.
Just like Conclave, there's a lot of religious movies out right now. Apparently,
Nice.
very, very good.
Really?
Hugh Grant,
Okay.
honestly, one of his best things
Okay,
I've ever
nice.
seen him do. Totally a role you would just not think of Hugh Grant in, because he's been doing different things again in this later part of his career. Great movie. It makes you think a lot. Very intriguing. Very scary at moments. Great movie.
Nice.
And then I also last night watched The Wild Robot. Finally.
That animation film.
Yes.
There's been a lot of little raves. Is that a DreamWorks one?
It
It's
is.
DreamWorks, right? Okay.
You know, very cutesy animated
Okay,
film. I
okay.
will say, if you like animated films, it is very cute. It's very like.
Did you
On
enjoy
my
it?
list.
I enjoyed it. Christine absolutely loved it.
Nice.
And yeah, you know, listen, it definitely plays with your heartstrings a little bit, as these movies tend to do. Pixar and DreamWorks.
Right.
Yeah, it pulls on the out of it. It's there's some very nice heartwarming moments in this movie, and it's some great animation. Very fun film. Yeah. So I really had a good time watching that as well, too. Yeah. It's about a robot that basically gets dropped in the wild, essentially. Like it's on a plane getting transported, and it's these helper bots that she's packaged in a box. A crate falls off the plane, or something happens to the plane. She falls into the wilderness, and then the helper bot has to learn how to adapt to being in the wilderness, helping animals, helping the
interesting.
wilderness.
It's kind of like
essentially.
Wall-E, yeah, kind of.
It's very Wall-E-ish.
Yeah.
Very Wall-E-ish. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So if you like that, I definitely suggest checking this out. In terms of things I'm looking forward to watching, though, honestly, I said a lot of these films last time we did a show because they're still on my to-watch list. But things that are coming out or have just come out within this past week or coming out in a week. Gladiator 2, like Jay mentioned, absolutely looking forward to that. That comes out in a week from now, I think. And Nora, that just came out in theaters this past week. I've yet to watch it. I'm probably going to go watch it this next week as well. Very much looking forward to that, because that's like Oscar bait this year. Like that's like people are talking
That's
about.
so funny that
People
you
are
said
talking about it's going to be like one of
Yeah.
those big. It's going to be nominated for Best Picture this year, which is like based on the premise of this movie and all this guy's other films. Is kind of surprising.
That's
to
so
see.
crazy that you're calling it Oscar bait, though, because I've been a fan of this guy's
Right.
films for like maybe like 7 years or something like that, and his films never get any like recognition.
But
from
this
those
one is
fuckers.
apparently.
No, this one, because he won the Palme d'Or
Right,
at the Cannes Film Festival.
Right, and you're
And
right.
I'm happy he's finally getting that.
I'm actually,
like-
you know, it's insulting to call it Oscar bait.
Yeah,
'Cause it's
yeah.
not like it's trying to prove a point.
Yeah,
probably,
it's not
so-
Spotlight.
Right,
okay?
right,
Just
right.
go fuck
Exactly.
outside.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not Moonlight or
Yeah.
or whatever. It's
Spotlight,
or whatever that other song. Movie was
Moonlight,
called. Yeah,
Moonlight.
yeah. Anyways,
Which I like that movie.
and so do I. Great movie.
Yeah.
I love Spotlight, but anyways,
Yeah.
and also Nosferatu, which comes out.
Oh,
Christmas.
you've
Well,
just
I
picked.
think I
You
said
just
that
you
last
named
time.
all the ones I want to see. Like the only movies. The only movies I'm interested in watching for the rest of the year. Well, okay. Here's the thing. I have been messing up big time on the whole horror. Like I guess this
This
guy's
has been one of the best years of horror in a long time.
Okay. Listen.
Honestly,
Listen.
every movie that I've really enjoyed this year has been horror.
This is what okay because
Even Alien.
my best friend, bro, he is like a horror fanatic, and every time he sees a horror movie, he's telling me about them, and so he's like, so this is the one I've been kind of sleeping on horror, and I guess this gives you guys like some credibility to your bullshit narrative you guys promoted out here about me being not liking horror movies, but like all the horror movies that came out
That was
this
a
year.
W, bro.
All these
H.
horror movies that have come out this year, I haven't really been sleeping on. So Longlegs, I need to see. I need to see the one all the movies that he tells me about. I saw the TV Glow. Have you seen that one?
No, I've heard of that.
That's
though.
another
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Oddity. That's another one. So all the ones you just mentioned.
Heretic.
Heretic.
Smile 2.
I Smile too. I love the first Smile. I really would love to see the second one.
Second one's even better.
Yeah, okay. It looked really good from the trailer,
better,
or
even
the
better.
pop singer, right, or
Even
whatever.
better.
I really want to see that. I haven't seen any of the Terrifier movies. Not a single one.
I
I've
love
not.
them.
I gotta
if
check
you
them
don't
out.
Like
You know, you gotta-
slashers,
it's a heavy
though,
No, I do like
slasher
slashers.
film.
I do like
okay,
slashers because I saw all the Scream movies
They're
earlier.
very entertaining.
I love slash.
That's
well,
a heavy slasher film.
I agree.
Too, bro.
You know, the
I
thing
agree.
is with me with
That's
horror,
like a Texas
with, the thing with
Chainsaw Massacre.
the thing with me,
fucking-
horror is like they're so like gruesome. I don't ever go out of my way to see that type of material.
Sure.
It's always with friends. So I never watch that type of movies by myself, which I should probably do that if I want to catch up
Yeah,
on
there's
these movies.
nobody behind you, bro. Don't worry.
If you ever want to have a Terrifier screening, you can come over to my house. I have them.
Okay, sounds. Let's set it up. Let's do it. So the 3 movies that I'm looking forward to are like outside of the ones that I've been sleeping on this whole year, as this year's almost done. Honora, which I'm actually going to see tomorrow. I have a
Nice.
plan to see with him.
Nice.
I got Gladiator 2 and Nosferatu, which comes out on Christmas Day. So those are the 3.
Oh, that's literally the 3 I mentioned.
Yeah, literally the 3. Those are the only ones like I care about. The Nosferatu trailer is insane.
Yes,
It looks
yes.
so good, that movie.
Yes, it does.
So okay, movies I've seen like since the last time I've been here, I haven't watched too many movies, but I've seen a couple. Finally got to see Blink twice.
And
It's good. I like it. I
Right?
like it. I like it. That's a good
Right?
movie.
Yeah, I
That's
liked it. It's messed up.
It's a little messed up. Yo,
Yeah.
I did not see that
No,
turn
right?
that happens.
right?
I
Me
did
and
not
Jay
see
really
that.
enjoyed it.
Yeah. I liked it too. It was well made, well executed.
Also, Zoe Kravitz's
Directed, yes,
Yeah.
directed it, wrote it.
Look at these women directing movies.
Making
Yeah,
her fire.
shout out to them. These actors turned directors. Shout out to them. And so
Lawyers as well.
Channing Tatum stars in it, and Channing Tatum was really good. I really liked his performance in that film.
They broke up now, by the way.
Yeah. Which whatever.
Did you hear about that?
No, they're
No,
gonna
I
be.
didn't hear about that, but you know what? Again, she set it up for herself, bro. She's like, yeah, you know what? You're not gonna get any
They were
magic
engaged. They
Mike
broke up
fucking
the
brides.
engagement,
Yeah,
so-
all right. You
Whatever.
screwed me up with
Let-
this
let-
fucking act.
Let them figure that one out. But so Blink twice I saw. So last Monday was my birthday, and me and Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, happy
Oh,
belated.
happy
No,
thank you so
sorry,
much.
sorry.
Fuck.
Thank you. Me and Matthew McConaughey have the same birthday, so that's another thing. That's another connection. I also have the same birthday as P Diddy, but I'm not trying to,
Oh
whatever.
no, don't advertise that.
Well, I already did, but so whatever. It's out there. Like you guys can,
I think Jay bought you some baby oil for your birthday. He's got it in the car.
like 46 bottles of it, right? So
Oh, I know somebody who bought it
on my
about that
birthday,
money the
on
other day.
my birthday, I rewatched with my my friend came over. I watched it with my mom and my sister. Goodfellas,
Of course.
greatest movie ever made.
Yeah.
Greatest movie ever made. Greatest soundtrack ever in a movie. Like just the greatest. I actually am so disappointed that you guys already did that one because I would have
You
picked
can
that one.
run it back.
Nah. Let's not do that. Let's not do that because I love that movie so much.
Yeah.
Greatest
as
movie
do
ever.
I.
Greatest movie ever made. I also, because my mom I also really love it. I showed my mom it because she hadn't seen it in a long time. Jerry Maguire.
Oh yeah.
That's another favorite of mine.
Yeah.
That's I really like
Yeah.
that one. I think that's like one of Tom Cruise's best,
Yeah.
honestly. I saw. Okay, I guess I'll talk about this other one. I saw on the same film by a movie by the same filmmaker as Honora, Sean Baker, The Florida Project.
Okay. Yeah.
Have you heard about it?
Yes.
This movie is so good. I saw this movie and I'm like, this is one of the best movies I've seen in a very long
Wow.
time. It is so good. It's so well directed. It's just well rounded. It's just really well.
Are all his films about some sort of sex workers?
Sex
or-
workers. Okay, so I have only seen 3 of his films. I've seen Tangerine, I've seen The Florida
Red
Project
Rocket
now, and Red Rocket now.
Yeah.
So each one about Tangerine is about like these 2 prostitutes, these 2 transgender
Right.
women in Los Angeles.
Right.
Florida Project has something similar to
Right.
that. And then Red
This
Rocket
is something he's really fascinated by. It's
So-
about an ex-porn star, Red Rocket.
Red
trying
Rocket
trying to get a girl into the porn
Simon
industry.
Rex. Yeah, he's trying to groom a
I
younger,
watched that one.
basically like a barely legal
Yes.
girl into the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I you know what? I think what he's doing, because he's really an interesting filmmaker, and I really am excited for Honora, and I have been for many months now. I think what he's
It's
doing.
also about a prostitute.
A
that marries
prostitute.
a Russian oligarch.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is why I want to see it, and it's also why I really wanted to show my mom that because like 'cause
Apparently,
she-
it's been touted as people have been saying it's an unforgiving Pretty Woman
I would love to see it.
in
and-
terms of like there's consequences to this.
Yeah.
It's not
Which
like
one?
it's
I-
not going to be glamorized.
and it's
like Pretty
also-
Which one?
Honora, and it's also that actress Mikey Madison who was
she's
in Once
great.
Upon a Time.
Yeah,
so she's
she's
finally
great.
getting her big break kind of thing,
Yeah,
which I
she's
really
good.
like. So I think he's trying to show like the humanity in these people who like society is not really giving their
That's cast
due.
aside.
As kind of cast, they're like the
Okay.
untouchables of our society, and he's trying to show them in a light that's really beautiful, but it's really sad. Like of the movies that I've seen of him, like they're really sad.
It's just funny that all of these big films he's had so far all are
Yeah.
around the same type of theme.
I think I saw a Letterboxd review about Honora. I just read, like, I just clicked on it and it said like Sean Baker is to the sex worker industry what Scorsese is to gangsters or some shit. Like that's
He
really
is.
what. Yeah,
He
he really is. Like
He is.
some people are just into a thing and they really Tangerine is not the first film he's made, but like he was making films for like 10 years at that point, and he has other movies about like I think the first movie he made, I haven't seen it, I want to check it out. It's called Takeout. It's about like a Chinese like takeout delivery worker.
I was looking at his
Yeah,
films,
yeah. So
filmography.
he has a bunch of stuff. He's just talking about the downtrodden of like the people who are living really, really in the gutter, and
right.
people just like look over them.
He
Like
has
they're
a thing that he looks
very, very, very good
Right,
filmmaker.
right.
Honestly, I'm very impressed by him. So those are the
Nice.
ones. Yeah.
That's good. I mean, I like I said, I had all the same picks, so I'm looking forward to those as well. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, stay tuned, guys, because we will be talking about at the end of the year in December our favorite movies of the year. We'll be recording that show. So look forward to that as we discuss our favorite movies of 2024. And Max and Julie will be joining us for that as well, as long as JT. JT, now you look all you've come down now from a high JT, happy-go-lucky JT.
We're not talking about the beach bum anymore.
3 hours later.
We're not talking about the beach bum anymore, so he's lost interest, you know.
Any final thoughts on the movie, Jay? This is your pick before Max reveals what it is.
No, like I said, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was and for what it that's all you need to, really get out of it. Is just enjoy it for the fun and for the laugh. And you can get inspiration from it if you want. You can take whatever you want from it.
Yeah.
But it is true.
It's what you make
you
out of
gotta
it.
go low to get high, bro. Sometimes staying low
Gotta
makes you
go low.
high already as life, bro.
Gotta
if
go
you're
low to
low,
get high.
it's already got that's your high already, bro. And people love it.
Well
So-
put.
so-
Well said. Well said. There you go. JT
Great
signing off. All right, Max.
Great.
Hit us
pick.
with
Okay.
hit us with the
Hit us
next
with
Okay.
pick.
Okay.
It is with your PG-12 fucking movie.
PG-12. What the fuck? Oh, because of Rush Hour. This. What a
No,
fucking-
no, because no horror movie or no, just my fucking.
Oh, horror movie. Okay.
Really?
Should I?
You think I did? I'm just teasing you, bro. I'm just fucking messing with you.
All right.
bro.
All right.
Yeah,
Fuck,
see,
fuck
I'm
you.
not allowed.
Okay.
Everybody can mess
So,
with me. I'm not
okay,
allowed to
I
mess
need-
with you.
okay, okay.
Fuck off.
So I'm just like I've like this. I've been dreading because I've been so indecisive with my pick, and so can I just like I picked like I have 7 movies written down.
Oh,
Can I just
fuck.
go through them
You gonna talk it out?
and you guys decide them? Okay, for me because I'm
You're,
just
you're
indecisive.
pulling a J then.
I'm
from
pulling a
last
J,
episode.
please.
I
7.
used 2.
Not
movies,
2.
maybe,
7.
bro.
You
Seven.
put 3 out.
So
Oh,
so I'm
whatever,
picking them.
3.
So I'm picking them. So I'm telling you guys.
All
them.
right, let's
So
hear it.
number 1, because the next time we probably do this one, Gladiator 2 will have come out. So I say the first Gladiator. And now the only thing that's can I just I'll just can I just
love Gladiator.
can I just
I
run
haven't watched it in a long
can
time.
I can I just run through them down and
Yeah,
then
go ahead.
okay, like all of them, right? So the first Gladiator. Now the thing is, I'm not the biggest fan of the first one. Like I like it, but I like it. Just hear me out. Hear me out. I like the movie, but I don't think I love it as much as everyone. I feel like that's a movie people really love,
Yes.
and that's not
I
a movie that I
self-included.
love. So
Okay.
I like it, but I don't love it. So, but
Okay.
I'm only saying like, okay, maybe it would be interesting because the second one will come out. Whatever. The second one is American Gangster because that is the last time. Also in tying with Gladiator 2 because that is the last time that Ridley Scott and Denzel Washington. No, first and last time that Ridley Scott and Denzel Washington made a movie, and now they're reteaming again. So it's like a reunion, whatever. Okay. Number 3, The Florida Project. I just said that because I saw it and it left a very huge impact on me.
right.
And it's also relevant because Sean Baker had is coming out with a movie, another Sean Baker movie. You've already seen it. I think I don't know if you said you liked it or so much. Red Rocket.
Yeah, I liked it.
Red Rocket.
I never heard of it.
You never seen it. You haven't seen Florida Project either. And
No.
Julie said she hasn't seen Florida Project, so
She did.
she hasn't seen it.
No, she has. Yeah, she says she hasn't.
She hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
So I would really like to just see, like, because I know she likes Tangerine, so I would
Okay.
be very curious if she would maybe be into that. So now the 5th movie is this is a movie I feel like it's similar almost to The Beach Bum in a way that I feel like it's a movie that came out and people kind of quickly kind of brushed it off and it never got its just due in the sun, and it would be really nice to kind of shine a light on it. And this is the Steve Jobs movie that Michael Fassbender was in.
Jobs.
No, That's the one with Ashton Kutcher.
Right.
Steve Jobs, the one that Michael Fassbender was in, that was written by Aaron Sorkin.
Oh, because there was two that came out.
There
at
was
the
two that
same
came out.
time.
I'm talking about. That's the only one I've seen is the one that Aaron
Right.
Sorkin. It's a beautiful drama and it's
Okay.
really well written. And this is a movie that I feel like, okay, this is a movie nobody talks about. People kind of saw it and whatever, blah, blah, and I think it is deserving of a conversation. That's
Okay.
that's on there. And it's probably a movie. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
I don't
one.
think so. No.
Sixth one is because the Goodfellas thing, like, okay, Scorsese, and I know you said Raging Bull. Have you seen that yet?
No.
By the way, you have it on DVD, right, or whatever,
On Blu-ray. Yeah.
on Blu-ray. Raging Bull. Because have you seen Raging Bull?
I
You
still
have to
watched
have
it.
seen that. Okay, because that's another one that a lot of people say that might be Scorsese's best movie,
Yes.
and it's very good, and it's very good drama. And now the number 7 pick, and this is the final pick, and this is a movie I have never seen. So I'm picking a movie I haven't even seen.
Can't believe this guy hit us with 7 picks.
Yeah. That's how crazy I am. I'm crazy. Okay.
Clearly.
Unfortunately, I'm back on the show, right?
Yeah.
According to Nico's words.
Missed
So,
fucking 2 episodes. Holy fuck.
So number 7 is a movie I haven't even seen, but it's like a movie I always want, like for whatever reason I just never got around to, and it's Unforgiven, the Clint Eastwood Western.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Have you seen that?
Yes.
Have you seen
I
that?
have.
First.
So
Great
okay,
movie.
so let me run down the list, okay? And
Oh.
I'll just see you also pitch in on this too. Gladiator, American Gangster, Florida Project, Red Rocket, Steve Jobs, Raging Bull, or Unforgiven.
I would say for me, I don't want to watch American Gangster. I don't want to watch
Okay.
Red Rocket.
Okay.
But anything else I'm up for out of that list.
Okay,
personally.
American Gangster gone. Red
Yeah,
Rocket.
Red Rocket gone. Because I've seen both of those, and I just feel like Red Rocket, I don't have much to say on it. American Gangster, to be honest, I don't really like all that much. I think
All right,
it's
fair
fun.
enough.
think
I
it's
remember.
fun.
I remember when we did a most violent year.
Yeah.
You mentioned you like American Gangster, but I
think
just thought,
Godfather Harlem TV show is better than.
no way, bro. Okay, get
Yeah,
the
bro.
fuck out of here with
I'm
that
telling you.
bullshit. Okay,
Right.
and that whole Franklin Saint that you love so much, Snowfall. He's totally channeling Denzel in American Gangster, bro.
But I mean,
It's a better version.
I'm
no, he's what? That's like, yo, you said some crazy shit in the last hour, and that might have been the most craziest one, bro.
I'm
Holy shit.
leaning either towards Florida Project because I've never seen it, and you know that Julie wants to see it, and like you said, it's
Well, you suggested also to me the other day, so I put it on my list. I mean,
Florida
that's
Project?
an option.
I think that I would lean towards that probably, or just based off of like your praise for it, maybe the Steve Jobs movie. Honestly,
Okay, Florida Project or Steve Jobs? Where are you?
I like
get either
Unforgiven a
Florida-
lot
yeah,
too. By
I was
the way, if
thinking
you haven't seen
Unforgiven. That was the
I-
only other one.
Yeah, that
That
between
one-
those.
I mean,
three-
Raging Bull I can do again, but I mean, I'd
Florida
rather see
Project, Steve Jobs. See, this is the thing. Is like
Unforgiven.
I'm-
I have no problem.
I'm
with.
really bad at like making choices because all these movies I could talk about. Yeah, I don't know.
You
What's
want
the
to put
one
it
you
in a
could
random
talk
Could you
number?
put in a
What's
random?
the one
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
talk the least about?
Which the one? The first Gladiator, probably.
Okay, random number generator. Okay, so
Let me take out Gladiator. Okay, so Florida Project, Steve Jobs. Let me take out Raging Bull too, actually.
Okay.
So Florida Project, Steve Jobs, and Unforgiven. Those
Okay,
three.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2,
Okay,
3.
ready?
Yeah.
Generate. Here we go. Oh, I only put 1 to 10, so I
Put 1 to 3.
3. All right.
Florida Project, Steve Jobs, and Unforgiven.
What was the second one?
Florida Project 1, Steve Jobs 2, Unforgiven
Steve
3.
Jobs.
Steve Jobs. We're doing.
There
We're
you
doing
go.
Steve Jobs, bro.
All right, that's the one he's gonna talk the most about.
Who the fuck cares about Steve Jobs?
That's a good movie, bro.
Okay.
All right,
That's
we're
a good
talking
movie.
Aaron
We'll see.
Sorkin- Aaron
And I love
Sorkin's
Aaron
writing.
Sorkin's
Yeah.
writing. I'm a huge
It's
I
fan.
don't
the-
know
of
the
it.
directors,
it's
so
the-
we'll
By
see
the way,
about the
He's
acting.
the writer.
Very,
Oh,
very.
yeah, he's directed that one too.
You
This
guys
is a
like to
movie-
talk a lot more
This is
about
a movie.
directors and
Okay.
stuff.
This is a
So,
movie
I
you're
like-
gonna have to watch like at a quarter speed because all the characters talk like like they talk like at hyper speed. Like
This isn't the Seth Rogen one.
this is when Seth Rogen played Steph.
Oh, I have seen this
When
one.
Michael Fassbender
Yes.
played Steve Jobs.
This is good.
You like that
Yeah,
movie?
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. It is
Thank you.
good. It is very good.
Yeah.
He plays Steve Wozniak.
Steve
right?
Wozniak
Yeah,
and Jeff
Seth
Daniels
Rogen.
is in it.
This
and-
is good.
Yeah,
yes,
Kate
yes,
Blanchett, yeah.
I think I've seen both.
This
of
is a
them.
movie that I feel like
Send me the
no
name
one.
of it so I can check it out.
Steve Jobs 2015. Steve
Okay.
Jobs.
Okay, so that'll be our pick for the next episode of Late Night at the Movies. Everyone, make sure to tune in for that. I think Julie hopefully should be joining Massa back again.
Hopefully,
there.
yeah.
And stay tuned. We will be having a review of Megalopolis as well, roughly around the same time.
That's
Don't
gonna be a
forget about
bloodbath. Holy shit.
it. Yeah, yeah.
That one?
Yeah, it's that one. Add that shit.
All right, you guys, good then? Are we
Good.
good? All right, we'll see you
Peace,
guys
y'all.
next time. Jay, thanks a lot for your pick.
Peace out.
All right, later, everyone. Gotta get low to get high. Remember.
I'm high, I'm low.
Motherfucking pull.
I'm already low right now. I'm gonna go get high. See you later, everybody.
On that dog.
On that.
He's always dancing in the moonbeams. Never cozy in the main.